Hello, everybody. Welcome to Irongeek Cast number 128, Horseshoes and Russian Escapades. How's everybody doing tonight?
Doing good.
We need like a little animated dude who's like headbanging through the intro.
Yeah, we could do that. I could probably figure out a way to do that. Actually, there's probably a way to do it through Hangouts, but I probably won't figure that out before Hangouts gets completely
I still need to look at the other options. I know Dan posted another option. That option I haven't looked into much yet, though. I've been a lazy bastard. Does it do streaming straight to YouTube?
Darren.
I'm sorry, what?
That option you presented in the channel for streaming. I mean, does that stream straight to YouTube?
I don't know. I didn't look too hard into it. I just kind of proposed it to see what people thought, and I think Jackson about his firewall not working with WebRTC, which I believe is what it uses, so that may not be an option to use.
No. I mean, it's fine. It just means that I have to swap ports.
Okay.
So I have to use my main firewall bypass.
Okay. I'll look into it some more then over the weekend and let you know. Because I think we have one more we can do on Hangouts before it's over, assuming that they don't kill it the 31st.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, Jack, you could always just throw your system straight into your DMZ and be done with it.
And I will file that under bad IT advice, which oddly enough, I was looking at this Facebook group, and that was some advice somebody gave because they were having issues connecting to Xbox Live. Yeah, just throw your Xbox in the DMZ.
That's no longer your Xbox. For anybody listening, that was complete sarcasm. Like, don't do that.
Or do, and tell us your IP address.
For research purposes only.
Yes, research purposes, as well as seeing how much money you have in your bank account. Oh, wait, I mean research. Yes.
For research purposes.
Yeah, we like to see how much money everybody listening currently has.
So that you can donate it at Adrian Crenshaw or Patreon/Adrian Crenshaw.
See.
Yeah, underneath Irongeek. I'm also got on subscribe because I know a lot of people left Patreon because of the whole Sargon of Akkad and other things.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, Cappy, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Having a very slow week at work, but otherwise it's going good. I don't have any complaints.
Excellent.
This week.
This week.
Well, one complaint, but we'll get to it.
He'll be dealt with. Okay. So, Darren, how are you?
I'm doing okay. I've had some pretty good news on the way home, which I'll wait till off air to share as it relates to my
boom
my FFL. So
awesome.
No, I was going to say you're pregnant.
No, but your mom is. Congratulations.
Oh.
There you go.
Darren's going to be your new daddy.
Yeah.
Oh, crap.
You better start calling me daddy now. Don't make it weird.
Oh, so is that why I woke up one morning and you was there in your boxers drinking my orange juice?
Who's that directed at?
Well, I thought it was Kool-Aid, but you know, Darren, it may have tasted different. Okay, Jack, how's your week going?
It's going great, man.
Nice. Okay.
And I just derailed everything. That's nice.
Yeah.
I'm usually not the one who does it.
Oh, man.
Welcome to the Irongeek cast, where if we were a train, we would be derailed immediately.
That's right. Hey, we are constantly derailed. Come on.
We didn't even start the first item, so we haven't left the station yet. We're off the tracks already.
Exactly
Right.
what I was saying. We barely got past the intro.
Okay, Tux.
Hey,
how you doing this week?
I'm doing pretty well.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Killed any new pies yet?
No, I'm not. I actually left that gig.
But you got personal pies. I like that, personal pies.
Oh, personal pies. Oh,
yeah.
But yeah, I am still doing stuff. I need to get the official power supplies for the 4s that I got because they're really finicky about just any off the shelf 5-volt USB-C, and I tried powering off the GPI opens and couldn't get them to turn on. Besides, they got to, like the kernel started booting and it like froze when it enumerated the USB devices.
Interesting.
Well, my advice for you is to get the non-chipped USB-Cs.
Ah, okay. Or I guess I could just desolder that spot, the USB-C connector, and plug them in. I have like 5-volt, 5-amp power supplies.
How much do the power supplies cost? Like $15?
No, they're like $8 or $9, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would just buy this power supply.
No, I will, but
this seems like a little overkill. But
yeah, to like desolder it off is going to take way more of my time and value of my time. So,
are they surface mounted?
Okay,
so they got 4 through holes. No, wait. I don't know. Yeah, I'm like looking at it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like what you're going to spend whenever you go to Wendy's to get some fast food. Get the power supply.
All right.
There you go.
Of course, the guy from Ohio plugs Wendy's and not anything else.
One other thing.
I don't eat McDonald's. The closest ChickfilA is... I think I've eaten at ChickfilA one time because I just don't know where they are around here. I like Donato's, like pizza, but that's from Columbus.
Yeah, you're not helping your case.
Yeah, I like White Castles from here too.
Have you ever been to Dewey's Pizza in Cincinnati area?
I've never had that one. Is it good?
It's freaking amazing. It's yeah, you should look that one up. Get over there. It's it's like in it's by, I'm trying to think of, it's like by Westchester. I know they have one. I don't know about.
I never really got the appeal of Chick-fil-A. I mean, it's okay, but
their spicy chicken's good, but that is pretty much all that I will go there for.
Yeah, their chicken's pretty good. Kind of a life hack, I guess. If you like Chick-fil-A, like the food, like the taste of it, but you don't want to, shop at Chick-fil-A, go to Sam's Club. They actually have these chicken nuggets that they use pickle juice in them that are actually really taste just like it.
Okay,
really good.
You got the perfect name brand nuggies.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. I like Rallies.
I actually worked my first real, job as far as like tax returns and all that.
Yeah,
I was working at the first Rallies in Jesville, Indiana.
Oh, okay. And my favorite chicken sandwich ever. Rallies had about probably 10 years ago.
I know what you're talking about.
A Frank's Red Hot dipped. I mean, it wasn't like they just like put some Franks on there. I mean, they took this deep fried chicken patty and you could get like double patties on it. I mean, it was amazing. And they would dip it in a vat of Frank's Red Hot. My goodness, it was best spicy chicken ever.
No. You did not just say that. That's blasphemy.
Yeah, I did just I like Frank's. I like hot sauce. I like all kinds of hot sauces. But
Frank's Red Hot is not hot sauce.
It's agreed. I've done hot pepper challenges and everything, but just from a flavor perspective, like I like it way more than say like Texas Pete or Tabasco. I just like the flavor of it. But them dipping that entire freaking thing down there and then sauce is just dripping off of that. Whew, it was amazing. And they only had it like 1 year, I think it was, for about 4 months. And I probably in that 4-month time frame ate at least 20 of those sandwiches. Everybody has their own taste. For me, I like that taste.
That's like the one thing that got me through some of the blander sandwiches when I was living in Europe. It's like, okay, cool. Just got a thing of Frank's. Here we go.
Yeah, I still call Frank's a hot sauce, but it's a different kind of. That's what the original buffalo sauce was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Pretty close, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have Aldi's in your area, because Frank's can get a little pricey if you use a lot of it. The Aldi's Berman branded, like the Aldi's brand of hot sauce, tastes almost exactly the same. And it's like a quarter the price.
Cool.
Okay.
Israel, how are you?
Hot sauce. Or actually, have we covered everybody? Said hello to everybody in the cast?
Almost. I've had a good week so far. Last week, my counterpart, my cohort, was out of the office, so last week was stupid busy, and it's got back to normal levels so I can breathe again. So, good week so far this week. I am not really looking forward to my flight out to Black Hat. I'm gonna have to get up at like 3:30 in the freaking morning. But other than that, next few weeks should be really good. Adrian, how's your week?
It's been going okay. Some news I'll announce offcast to you guys. The Free Raccoons in a Hoodie ordered a bunch of stickers for Hoosier HackerCon and sent me some. I'm going to be distributing those at various conferences I'm going to. And
nice.
That's about it. Also got 50 magnets.
Okay, cool.
They look cool. The magnet's a little bit bigger. They're like 3 inches as opposed to 2 inches squared. Luckily, 2 inches squared is the most economical, and it you can still read all the text on it.
Yes, very cool.
Off topic, I know it's a little bit. Yeah.
Did the magnets still have like the date of the conference, or just like? Oh, okay.
Here's this magnet. When is it? I have no idea. I don't know.
Yeah, the magnets basically and the stickers are the same pattern. It's just different sizes, and the magnet size is 3 inches is the smallest one that they had.
Cool.
Does anybody use something other than Sticker Mule, by the way?
I'm about to use Tspring for some of my stuff just to try it out, but I will let you know how that goes.
All right.
Because I know a couple of the guys that a couple of my friends have used them for stickers, and it turns out all right. I've got some of them like on my backpack from them ordering stuff, so they're decent.
I do want to give public notice to Marla. No one can beat my private stock hot sauce grandma's recipe. Marla, if you would like to share, we would love to hear what that is. If you're willing to share. I probably have 35 different hot sauces right now. And I'm selective of whenever I use it, obviously, because just, some are expensive, some are inexpensive, but
yeah. Hot sauce aisle in there's a local liquor shop. I think it's called Party Barn or something like that. Jack would know it.
What's that supposed to mean?
I was waiting for it. Yes.
No, I know. I'm aware of it.
Used to have a great hot sauce aisle, but unfortunately, they apparently stopped stocking most of them. It's a bummer.
Yeah.
You'll get all sorts of crazy shit. There was one thing that was like in a double-sealed container called Pure Cap. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to touch that.
Oh, yeah. Like, I have
no relation.
Probably not the same brand, but I have one that is just straight capsaicin. So, yeah, that definitely exists. And, yeah, it can get incredibly hot. You definitely have to use it sparingly. Do the one-drop test, taste it, and then add it to your different foods and stuff.
Yeah, one of my old roommates is now in North Korea. Shit, no, South Korea.
Whoa.
He's not in North Korea. He may be in Japan for all I know right now. But he used to use my hot sauces when he was cooking, and he made the bad mistake of getting some on his fingers and going to pee without washing his hands.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there was a big old dude, like 3 or 4 jobs back, and they were eating. It was either Quaker Steak or B-Dubs, one of those, but it was their hot wings, which aren't like crazy hot, but still they have some heat. There's pepper oil in there, And yeah, went to the bathroom, didn't wash his hands beforehand. And this is a big boy. This is, 6'5", 6'6", 280 to 300, a lot of muscle. And you just heard this woman scream, and you're like, oh my, like run out. Like, where is this woman? And we realize it's coming from the men's bathroom. And here he comes out, and his eyes are just teared up. And yeah, that was rough.
Pepper spray go off in my front pocket. That's about the worst I've had. That was a quick drive home to take a shower.
Just the entire way, just screaming at the top of your lungs.
That's right.
All
And
right.
Marla, I definitely agree. Too hot and it loses its taste. Got to have it just hot enough to let you feel it while keeping its unique flavor. Yes,
Yeah,
100% agree.
I go with Dave's hot. What is it?
Dave's Insanity Sauce.
Dave's Insanity Sauce on some stuff, but I have to use that shit sparingly because I'm a bit of a hothead. But man, I just totally get destroyed by some people.
That's such a problem down here, especially with like chili cook-offs in Texas. Is you get jackasses who think, "Oh, I'll make it as hot as possible. I'll make it hot enough to melt your stomach lining." But that's not a flavor. Heat is not a flavor. It's a flavor enhancer. You idiot.
Correct. Yeah, and see, like whenever I make chili, I honestly try not to make chili that is too hot that only I can eat it. But I'll use like 4 or 5 different types of peppers, all the way up to nuclear. But the nuclear I'll use sparingly just for flavor, and just try to get that heat up to the point that most people can like actually handle it.
Right.
And enjoy it, not like handle it and they're dying while they're handling it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just don't make the mistake I made with my ghost pepper mac and cheese.
Yeah. If you go a little too hard there, it's gonna get really hot really quick. And the thing with ghost peppers, because I have ghost pepper sauces, but I also ate a ghost pepper straight, it lingers. And
yeah,
and that's the rough part, because it's awesome for about 15-20 seconds, and then all of a sudden you realize it's still there and it's amplifying, and it's still there for another 5-10 minutes.
Somebody didn't like the fact that the cheese that I used was had ghost peppers in it, and it was like, well, just throw some ghost peppers in there as well. So the next time I made it, I pretty much had to throw it out because I couldn't finish it.
Yeah. Yeah, and then your stomach's gonna probably have some issues, and then the next day you're gonna be loving that porcelain throat.
What is the hottest pepper out there right now considered? Because I know people keep breeding them and crossbreeding and doing weird shit.
Carolina Reaper.
I think there's a mix between the Reaper and the ghost pepper though now that's supposed to be hotter. I think, because it went ghost pepper then Reaper, and I think there's something above that now, but I just haven't been keeping up with it.
The Naga Vipe. Wait, hang on.
Someone's using the Googles.
Yep.
Ooh, googly search.
So according to, there's Carolina Reaper, and then there's the Trinidad Moruga Scorpion.
Yeah, which unless the Moruga is something special, Trinidad Scorpion normally is slightly below the ghost pepper.
Yeah, so it's this is a stupid way to write this article. It put the Carolina Reaper at the top with a Scoville level of 2.2 million.
Okay. So it is still Reaper. I thought they crossbred Reaper.
There's
ghost.
one that looks like it might be no. From what I'm seeing, it's the Carolina Reaper so far.
Nice.
Well,
wait, Dragon's Breath. Hang on.
Oh.
So he says dragon. So there's this new one called Dragon's Breath. Clocks in a Scoville rating of 2.48 million.
And how did it come to be? Just say what they used to make it.
Oh, we got something in the show notes. We'll get on with the rest of the cast here in a bit. But Happy Sunshine brings up an interesting point, and I didn't even think I'd seen this news. Guys, peppers are very interesting. But
shit! I just saw chat.
But can we get back opinion from you, fellas, on John McAfee being arrested. I didn't know he was arrested.
I didn't hear he was arrested. This is according to McAfee that he's being detained, which it's McAfee. So
Make hookers and blow great again, McAfee.
yeah, I mean, he may be detained. He may not be. It could be one of his little PR, I'm trying to stay in the limelight episodes, but I haven't seen any secondary confirmation that he's actually been detained outside of him stating it.
Okay, so here is a article that I just pulled up from heavy.com. I'll find something else later.
Heavy.
Yeah. John McAfee's campaign manager has said on Twitter that the presidential candidate and his wife might have been arrested or detained on his boat, sparking rumors about a possible, quote, dead man switch that John McAfee recently talked about online. McAfee has been living off a boat and says it's because he wanted for not paying taxes. Now his campaign manager is saying that McAfee and his wife might have been detained on that boat. This is a developing story. And pulling up a couple of the tweets here. This is logging on, whatever. His campaign manager again. I have good reason to suspect that John McAfee and his wife and other companions have been detained by authorities at the latest port of call. I will be operating this account, providing updates as they become possible. Update number 2. I last spoke to John as his boat was being boarded. The situation was tense but controlled. Our conversation was cut short by authorities confiscating their phones. Quote, the bastards wouldn't even give him a cigarette.
Wait, he wasn't on a British vessel, and these aren't the Iranians boarding the boat, right?
I don't know.
Oh, would you add to the show notes, by the way, the thing about McAfee?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll put that in here right now.
Yeah, actually, I had an impromptu meeting with him, not in person, but at a conference at Skydog Con. I don't remember which number it was. That they just happened to be there, and it was a really low attendance conference because they didn't do enough advertisement ahead of time for that one. Yeah. And someone just happened to be at the bar at the hotel and looked down. It's like, is that John McAfee? Is that fucking John McAfee? So the next thing I know, the guy's walking in to the hall, and he had no intention of being at this hacker conference, but he did an impromptu speech, which unfortunately wasn't getting recorded. I think that was someone else's duty to record. I think that year. Evan's duty. But yeah, he just ended up showing up at a conference at random.
Nice. But yeah, until we see something that is outside of a publicist or manager, whatever this guy was, I'm going to take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah. I'm gonna.
I mean, because McAfee's freaking nuts.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull up his Twitter on the side here, and I'll be watching that as we're going through the show. So if anything like juicy or anything comes up, juicy, I will give updates as stuff develops. Sounds like the good time to hold on for dear life of your Bitcoin, especially if McAfee is about to reveal any secrets. Okay, cool.
Yeah, and he's not affiliated with Bitcoin. Well, he has his own cryptocurrency.
Yeah, he does. But he's a proponent of crypto for sure. McAfee.
Or at least he said he was going to start one. Did anybody know if that ever happened? His cryptocurrency get up and running?
Oh, hang on. So posted about an hour ago, McAfee. I'm going to share my screen here.
Please.
Yeah. So share screen. Stupid interface. Okay. So this was posted about an hour ago. Leaving detention, don't judge my looks. 4 days of confinement. I was treated well. My superiors were friendly and helpful. In spite of the helpful circumstances, we've decided to move on. More later. So
So say he was detained in a massage parlor?
Dude, look at like behind this. This doesn't look like an office. This looks like a house or like some weird house or something. I don't know.
Yeah, like house arrest.
Hey, pull up that
Yeah.
first picture. The one with the guy. Can you pull up the big one, or is it just is it?
Darren's like,
it's a
I know this house.
collage.
I've been there.
No, hold on. Let me see. Trying to see what that flag on his shoulder is. I don't recognize that one offhand.
Well, he's in the Gulf, right? So it's
Probably, yeah, it could be one of the small nations there. Okay, I just don't know. I don't know
Yeah.
the flags. All right.
yeah, it's weird, a little weird. Can confirm they're safe. Yeah, okay. So about an hour ago, they were released. They are underway to a new location, but have been forced to leave the Freedom boat for now. John will be assuming control of this account again after travel. Okay.
Hey, speaking of crazy, was Assange ever taken into custody?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So was he actually like in jail now somewhere?
Yes, he's being held in British detention.
Okay.
Yeah, he's definitely being detained and in jail. Oh boy. Thank you.
Why
Happy sunshine days.
did
Sunshiny
McAfee-
days.
Yeah, why did McAfee go kind of out on the run initially? Does anybody know?
He killed
Paranoia.
somebody.
Well, that's a theory, but paranoia in general.
I mean,
Nah,
that's what I thought it was. Was there anything legitimate though?
he killed somebody.
Well, I don't know if it's been proven, but that's the running theory. But his ass is also crazy off of bath salts too. So yeah.
I'm
Always
going with
good.
a hard like shrug here.
Well, when they say we want to talk to you and you take off,
Yeah, that looks
They're
kind
after
of
me, Jack.
guilty.
They're after me.
Yeah.
Actually, but that was a different country he killed someone in. What country was Belize? I believe.
Belize, yeah, it's Belize. But I thought they they dropped the case.
I
Sorry.
think they have, but I mean for
Yeah.
the
Wonder
most
how
part.
much- Wonder how much you had to pay them to drop that case.
Oh, by the way,
City.
I saw someone already put in a title. I didn't want to change it, so I figured that was Horseshoes and Russian Escapades. But I was wanting to originally name this Electric Sheeple. Because did you hear that Rugged Howard passed away?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was unfortunate.
I put it in there that you could change it if you wanted to.
No, that's fine. I like that because at least it's on topic.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Speaking of which, what is Capital up to with botnets?
Okay, so I have a small little update on.
Oh, an update. Okay. We knew you were talking about small and little. Just curious where that was going.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I confirmed something that was my suspicion. So if you go to Shodan right now and try to search for Docker, and if you're researching stuff for that, I'm sorry, but they are blocking everything Docker related in the HTTPS level, any sort of web querying or from the browsers. Because of what I found, the only way that they could figure out to block it or stop any further attacks that could automatically spread was just having Cloudflare just 503 all of their all their requests. So apologies for that. It still works on the API if you want to do more research into that. I just wanted to make that quick little announcement because it could get annoying.
Yeah. So, like some of the research you've been doing, have you been doing it via API or GUI side?
Yeah. So initially it was on the GUI side. And then I got kind of fed up with having to keep like scrolling through page after page after page. So that's why I wrote the scanning tool that I have to look for them. And I'm going to write the reporting feature, so it actually gets a nicer report and actually like greps out stuff. But yeah, doing that will also be a lot faster, as the AP, you don't have to page through everything, and it can, you'll have a record, and if anything changes, you can actually like base everything back out. And
As
yes,
well as the
Jack, I will
attacker-
make a database.
As well as the attacker that you were looking into some, I mean, they were already API'd out, right?
Nope. So they were doing everything based on curl commands, actually. So they would, within the code base, he had a large list of, I think, about 3,000 different queries.
Yeah.
And like just different queries. Like he made like a full list of stuff where he knew like Alibaba was using it, Amazon was using Docker. He basically went like whatever filter he could throw onto it other than like basic like Docker and port 2375. He went to just like things like different languages because it might show up different in another language. But yeah, so he had all those, he would curl them out and put them in an IP list. And then he had the Docker code inside of the image to actually try and take that IP list and then go out and exploit from the Docker container to that other host that it also had pinged. So that's how it kind of propagated through Shodan. Recently, though, since that's not the case, it's all hard coded now. So he kind of just got everything was sent back to his command and control server.
Yeah.
And now it's just a hard coded list that he got from all of his bots or like rogue containers. And he just has that packaged into the malware now. So it's a little more difficult to track him, but that's why I wrote the tool to track it, which just right now scans it.
But he also has a skill set to be able to go ahead and tie into the API, right?
Yes, but the thing with that is so here's the thing with this too. You don't have unlimited queries with the API. If you exhaust all your queries, you're going to
and that authenticates via email address,
API key,
which
so it
is
has
tied to.
That is tied to your account,
which is associated with your email, right?
Right.
And
but whatever email.
Yeah, and you obviously can't go in and make multiple email addresses, then get multiple API keys, right?
Right, which is what his MO has been, is doing that, but it's a lot easier to probably track it from the API key rather than your account. I don't know.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of an offsec move, but
I mean, yeah, my thought is he will still be able to, he or she, whoever, will still be able to get around it at, in a short time frame. So it's only putting a small band-aid on that will get ripped off and it'll be wide open again. So
my favorite thing so far has been he tried to base 64 encode everything, thinking that was going to stop people from looking at his code. And he did it, and then I just decoded everything because it's base 64, and then it was the same image and whatever. So it was like, all right, cool. I grabbed all the evidence that I could and sent it out to people. And then the next image, he forgot to like reset when he did a test. So all the base 64 encoded stuff was there, but so was also the rest of the code. So he like ran the code, ran the test, did a Docker push, and then like started. It was funny. I was like,
which confirms it's a single person, not a team. There's no QA occurring, all that fun stuff.
Maybe, or it's an honest
mistake. I don't say it would be proof.
Yeah, it's evidence of it. I have no grasp on any sort of attribution right now. The fact that I'm not seeing any other ones popping up that aren't kind of yeah, like once like the first couple of instances where I took people down, a lot of stuff kind of like dropped off where it's still there and I can't attribute it to anything.
Yeah.
Or without like going in and like looking at network traffic, which I am not authorized to do on these devices that are being attacked. Yeah, it's.
I mean, maybe you could request that the attacker actually makes some logging and send it out. Then you could capture that logging.
Yeah, sure. No, I'm working on a couple of features to Dalek to actually monitor different stuff, because in Shodan you can set up different IPs that you can monitor. So taking his attacking base and look at the ones that he's frequented the most, and then making an alert for that, so that anytime something changes on that system, I am aware of it and I can look at it, see if it's new and all this other stuff.
Yeah,
see if it's legitimate.
I mean, especially from being outside the perimeter, you know, that's a really good idea. I like that.
Yeah, and then pretty soon, Dalek's also going to have the Freebird module.
It's just going to echo Freebird whenever Jack uses it.
No, it's not going to do that. No, that's what I'm.
It's going to identify via source IP.
Yeah.
No, that's what I'm naming the database. The database module is Freebird.
Got it. Cool. So it'll be freebird.py, which makes no sense for it to be a database.
I like it. Hey, can you hear whining in my background?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
he's mad.
It's fine. It's Ethan.
Yeah. He's super happy right now.
Ethan's just mad that I haven't written the database yet.
Get Charles on
yes.
Simone and Ethan like call back and forth to each other.
We'll do a baby cast.
Ooh,
that would be funny.
We'll probably get a lot more viewers and insight than normal.
Yeah, probably. Oh, look at it. But yeah, so that was like the one thing that I wanted to bring up, because I was watching another talk where people were looking for different Docker containers and Kubernetes instances, and they were using Shodan and Census IO for that. And then I was like, oh man, I just made these guys' life a little bit harder. Whoops.
I like it.
But important note, everything that's written in Dalek is based off of the Shodan module in Python. There's other things that you can develop on your own for yourself. So if you don't need a lot of stuff, you can go ahead and just script up some of this stuff out. And code's open source. I don't care if you just fork it and make tweaks to it as needed. So
hey, you want to post a link to Dalek on there?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. Okay, let's hit the breach report. I was lazy this week, and since potentially Cappy, I think, added a couple on here, I was like, screw it. I added one, so. But breach report. So Russia, FSB. Projects have been popped. So there was a third-party contractor working with Russia's FSB, and this is being said to be Russia's secret intelligence agency's largest data breach in history. The attackers were able to get 7.5 terabytes worth of data from a major contractor. They didn't actually say who the contractor was, at least whenever I've gone through this information, including FSB projects to de-anonymize Tor browsing, scraping social media, and help the state split its internet off from the rest of the world, North Korea. And the data was passed to mainstream media outlets for publishing.
Yes. And there's another link that I found. I'll have to find it later, but they actually list out what each of the projects, quote unquote, that were leaked and what they were for. So we might be seeing that dropped somewhere in the future, which I would find very interesting.
Yeah.
Especially with that de-anonymization of Tor.
Yeah.
Governments would be very interested in that.
Yeah, the de-anonymization of Tor was called Nautilus S,
Mhm.
and apparently was actually launched back in 2012, so 7 years ago.
Mhm.
You know, if they haven't done it by now, they probably never will. But
No, I think that's when they got caught like hosting like 19 or so exit nodes.
oh,
Yeah.
okay. I mean, but like CIA side, how many CIA host?
Yeah. Hey, Israel, mic's a little low.
Okay, how's that?
A little bit.
But yeah, definitely interesting, because we had NSA, you know, all the NSA tools dropped a few years ago.
Mhm.
This didn't, unfortunately, get into tooling from the Russian agency, but it is pretty cool to look into and be able to see what project side they're working on in a offensive manner.
Yep, because we've always worried about what's going on there. Well, worried. We've been interested.
Yes. Yeah, it's definitely interesting.
Okie dokie.
And the person they are attributing it to, and honestly, I didn't look this guy up to see if it's on Twitter. Zero Virus, V1RU $. So I'm not sure if that's like if we
He's
have
on
any.
Twitter.
Is he?
This
Okay.
account doesn't exist.
Did you say doesn't?
Doesn't.
Nope, they got pulled.
They got pulled. Like if you go to that Twitter page right now, this is what you see.
Yeah, they got taken down.
Yeah, so they got taken down.
Well, they were on Twitter.
Yeah, probably because they probably said something.
Or the Russians said, well, we could do this one of two ways. One, you take them down, or we take you down.
So O-Virus is actually a group of people. It is not a person.
Okay.
So
I mean,
hacking group.
honestly, you know, to still breach the contract, normally that's not going to be a single person.
Oh,
It
here we go.
is going to be a group, but
I think
there
I
are
just
people out there.
found one of the members. Hang on.
Okay.
It's in Russian, so pardon this, but this was one.
Oh, so your native language. Awesome.
All you have to do is just drink vodka.
All I know are swear words, but apparently, or this might be a journalist as well. I am not sure, but in the Naked Security article that I originally saw this in, this is the guy that's kind of been exploiting that or leaking this information out. So I will also post this in the show notes as well here for you guys to take a look. That's where and this is the one that goes through and shows like what no, this one doesn't go through and show each of these projects, but I don't know. There's another one that I saw later. I think it was BBC might have done it. I think it was BBC.
Cappy doesn't know. Cappy doesn't know.
Let's see here. Translate. Let's see how broken English this is.
I'm actually getting fairly impressed by the translations on these. They're way better than Facebook's.
Oh yeah.
Since my wife is Filipino and
Yeah.
she has Filipino friends who
Whoa.
make comments.
Yeah, and that's what Filipinos do. They seem to mix the English and the Tagalog back and forth in the same paragraph.
They do, yes. Yes. And that happens not only in writing, but regular like speaking also. Yeah. Which is why whenever my wife's mom is over here and they're having a conversation, and I call it tag along, but it's like you said, Tagalog.
Yeah, my dad is 3/4 Filipino, 1/4 Japanese.
But that's why I can understand like what they're talking about and get the vast majority contextually of what they're speaking about. even though they are not speaking a language that I am familiar with in any way. It's very nice of them. Dark House said, I use Alexa to get on tour. Nice.
Yes, use wiretap to get on tour.
That would be awesome.
Dark Owl's like, oh yeah, I use Alexa as a Tor exit node.
I use it as my SSH jump box.
Dark Owl, thank you. That was funny.
Yes, it was. Thank you for that. All right. So yeah, I posted a couple of links in there from Sophos and BBC. That has the BBC article has a little bit more of a description on these projects that were found. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Are we done with Russia? Let's move on to some Lenovo and 36 terabytes.
32 terabytes.
Oh,
wait, no, my title is wrong. Oops.
Yeah, see, I'm actually reading the subject of and real quick, anybody who is watching, if you've never watched us or we didn't mention it the last time you were watching us, we're going off the show notes to Google whatever something. But if you go over to Adrian Crenshaw on the left side under the YouTube stream, you'll see show notes and then docs.google. Bring that up and you can see the different links and articles that we're talking about right now.
There's also a Discord invite link at the top of the show notes if you want to chat with us or chat with the community in Discord.
And some of us are better about getting on there than others. I'm not as good about getting on there.
Yeah. I'm always on there. If you say something, give me about a half hour.
Jack lives on. Actually, Discord was designed for Jack. I mean, it realized that Jack is the center of the universe, and Discord just designed itself around him. So pretty amazing.
All right. So Lenovo security vulnerability exposes 36 terabytes of sensitive information. This is kind of a little bit of a combo between vulnerable stuff and a breach report. So Lenovo recently acknowledged a major security vulnerability and categorized it as a high security vulnerability. And snap.
Snap.
I don't know what's going on with this page. Like there's a memory leak or something in this page.
I think it's your system.
Probably that too. Unfortunately, the exploit ended up in exposing the data of thousands of users with Lenovo EMC storage devices. So this kind of goes back to last week where we were talking about all the storage devices getting hacked.
Yep.
Or being flawed in a way that it could be hacked.
Yep.
And security researchers who studied the impact revealed that the security flaw resulted in data leaks of 36 terabytes of data, and I believe that's collectively. And there's a vertical structure report linked here that you guys can go and read that, but I won't get into that. It was stored, so 36 terabytes of data was stored in around 13,000 spreadsheet files.
And honestly, yes and no. Because you think about EMC.
Right.
I have a NAS here at home. I have how much? 32 tera raw. No, 6. I think they're 4 tera drives. So 16 raw, 12 usable. And we're talking, 3 NASs potentially. If you got everything off of it. So, I mean, yes, it is a lot, but as far as impact, I'm just curious how many actual people were impacted by this.
So here's the thing too. In the next paragraph down, the researchers who used a search engine they used Shodan to figure out where these data leaks were happening. Revealed that approximately 3,030,106 files were in the index that you could grab. So that is pretty much any thing. Let me give me 2 seconds here.
1, 2.
Shoden. Lenovo EMC. Let's see what that comes up. Watch, they've like 503 this stuff too. Yeah, no results found. Lenovo.
Try just CMC Excel Lenovo.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because whenever it comes to storage, nobody thinks about Lenovo whenever, and kind of puts Lenovo with EMC.
Well, maybe. Hang on, I got an idea. What if I say product?
Damn, it's that time of the year. You got an idea. I love this time of the year.
Mhm.
It's my favorite.
Please log into you. Son of a gun. Gotta log in. Okay.
Cappy, you're killing me.
Yeah, so no product. Dang. I will look and see if I can find that Shodan thing so that you can actually see that, because yeah, it's a little pedantic. Or
Ooh, look at Cappy pulling out the college words.
yeah, I've been using that since I was 4, so like yesterday.
Wow, you were in college when you were 4? That's amazing. I was actually talking to a guy today. He's like, yeah, when I was 18, I was like, wait, you're like a senior in college and you're 18? He's like, no, when I was oh, okay, good. You're at least, I thought I was talking to a genius. Thank you for clarifying that.
All right. Other than you making jokes about people's age, old man.
Ooh.
Oh, I know.
You gonna
Hey,
take that from Doogie Howser?
Probably.
Hey.
Okay.
Wait. Does he even know what Doogie Howser is?
Exactly. Oh, wait. Capricoat, do you know who Johnny number 5 is?
No.
Oh my gosh, you don't! Oh,
You didn't fucking watch Short Circuit? Oh,
I just spoke
Dude,
with somebody yesterday who didn't know who
Circuit.
Johnny
Tux-
number 5 was.
Tux is like only slightly older than you,
Yeah,
and he knows
Tux
it.
is like 8 years old, and
Yeah.
Tux knows who Johnny
know,
That's
5 is.
bad.
yeah,
is older
Johnny
than I
5
am.
alive. Come on,
Yeah.
man.
He's
Tux is
older-
older than I am.
He's older than you by like a year. Don't start that, okay?
He's actually like a month and a
Hey,
half or something like that.
he's older. He's older than you by like a chin hair. Come on.
Yeah, basically.
What's going on with this?
Not the chin hair.
The one.
Just the one. I don't have very many.
That's okay. We still love you.
But yeah, so I was speaking with somebody yesterday, and I came up with this amazing marketing thing that we need to have Johnny number 5. We will have no company branding, no signage, no nothing. Just have Johnny number 5 there, and you will have everyone flock to the booth. And I was speaking with somebody like, who's Johnny number 5? What?
Oh my God, no!
What?
Don't tell me that.
I have to educate you. He's only, and all of a sudden I realized I could be a marketing god, because you just bring Johnny number 5 and everybody will go to your booth no matter where you are.
Okay. Yeah. So no, I have not seen this movie, but I have seen Johnny 5. I didn't know what it was.
Yes. And you just look at Johnny 5 and you're like, yep, I would walk up to see that.
Yep.
Right? See?
Yeah.
Especially if he was holding free swag.
Yeah.
Even if he wasn't, you're still going to go up to see him.
I said especially.
Yeah. If he's holding free swag.
Even if he's not.
Even if he's not, you're still going up there. But
see him. See? Marketing.
Mhm.
I could have been a marketing person. Never had a clue.
Not dead yet.
Tickle. I could have been a marketing person, I think. I don't know.
All right. But yeah, so that basically is Lenovo with 36 terabytes of information gone-ish. I'll see if I can do some more research after this show.
Wait, what was it, gone or just copied?
copied.
Okay, so not gone.
Yeah,
I
not
just want to
gone.
clarify. Yeah.
Yeah, it might not be gone, but it's like
Just compromised.
it has left the building, sort of.
Yes, like yeah. We'll call it Elvis.
Yeah, it has been
Yes.
Elvis.
I like that. We should definitely that should become a security phrase. It has been Elvis.
Yeah.
I like that. Okay. Lastly,
With each breach reported comes a cost. So I saw this article pop up on my security alert stuff. It just the tag or the title caught my eye. Your business hit by a data breach. Expect a bill of $3.92 million. Where we've been seeing with every breach report and that we breach on or we breach on each report that we make and each week we see a bunch of them, and oftentimes there's a huge fine with them. And IBM's annual study, they did a cost of a data breach report and found that it's risen 12% in the last 5 years, and organizations can expect to pay an average of $3.92 million. And it goes into a little bit more with that, but this also goes into a topic later that we discussed. This is very much like an average and not like a per case basis, like with Equifax. Yeah, like that's gotta be a little bit more, but that's at least the average. So every time that we see one of these breach reports, there's going to be an uptick. So if we put more crap in here, there might be an uptick in the costs, especially in the coming years. And especially with everything with GDPR and stuff like that happening, where they are straight up just finding people or finding companies for just poor security practices in general or poor data practices in general. I see this number rising again exponentially within the next year.
Yeah, and something to think about too. You know, 2 systems being compromised,
not too bad.
Are not going to equate to $4 million. And especially if it's a user's desktop where 80% of plus of stuff comes in, yeah, that's not going to be $4 million. So the big thing is you will be breached. I mean, I work for a defense company, you know, information security defense company. You know, whether you use us, use somebody else, whatever, you need 24/7 SOC monitoring. You need EDR. You know, you actually need things on your endpoints.
Endpoint protection, baby.
Shit. Yeah.
Yep.
Like the days of antivirus is 1,000 years ago. Antivirus is antiquated. Now, granted, yes, you should still have antivirus because it's going to get rid of the script kiddies who are reusing code. It's going to get rid of the crap that's currently known out there. But for the actual attack, you know, I had to live through NoPeta, unfortunately. That sucked. You know, whenever, and unfortunately that was nation state. But whenever it is an advanced threat actor, you know, they are not going to use off-the-shelf products. You know, they're not going to be using Metasploit that, you know, every AV can potentially pick up. They're going to be using customized utilities that they've developed for a specific attack. And your standard antivirus is not going to detect that. I mean, Microsoft Defender, ATP, all that stuff, like, it is honestly really good now, but it's still not going to potentially detect that.
From where it started, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it 5 years ago, I would have said, you know, Defender is complete. Like, I would have laughed at you if you were using Defender in an organization. Today, honestly, from an AV perspective, Defender is by far one of the better AVs out there. They're actually utilizing all this information that they have. collecting the information, categorizing, like breaking it down and actually making it meaningful and useful and improving their product for detection. So as well as, one of the few things I got to actually give it to Microsoft, getting in and starting to protect the memory space, things like that. That's good. Like we should have done this for a long freaking time. So Defender from an AV perspective, yeah, it's actually good now. But whenever you're talking about advanced threats, it's still going to get blown away by somebody who's good. So that's where you need that monitoring. You need to have that 24/7. If you have your own in-house SOC and can afford that and keep it staffed, awesome. If not, get out there, find somebody who can do that 24/7, as well as has the technology, and the endpoint product that complements your SOC. So, okay, my rant off my soapbox.
No, it's cool. I was going to add to it. Another thing to note too, that don't, like Israel is saying, don't just have the one protection in place, because also you have to configure your environment in a certain way too. Like Windows Defender, from where it started, it was a pile of garbage, but now it's actually something that's usable. But it's real easy if someone is already like on your system to open up a PowerShell window and do some fun PowerShell trickery to just bypass any sort of administration or
well, I have PowerShell
Defender
commands to shut down Defender.
Mhm.
Like as long as I have admin capability on a box, I have a
You don't even need.
Yeah, I have a PowerShell string that will shut down Defender.
Yeah,
and
you
then
don't even
Defender's
need
done.
you don't even need admin in some cases. In some environments, you can just set the execution policy for
Exactly.
processes to be bypassed, so it just bypasses everything within
Yeah.
a normal non-system PowerShell instance.
Yeah.
And you can literally, that's how like I shelled my first box, was just my first like internal was just setting the execution policy and then putting an Empire or putting a Death Star agent on it and then seeing where else I could go within the network.
Yeah.
Like that was like my first foothold, was something that like level of just like dumb to try and move around and pivot.
Nice.
But
And then if you are somebody who thinks the application whitelisting is like the holy grail and nothing can get past this, okay.
No,
FYI,
that's just a filter.
yeah.
I mean, most of the time it works fairly well, but for anybody who doesn't know, check out Living Off the Land binaries and scripts. Because did you know that Red Server 32 and Windows can make URL call? Guess what? The attackers do. They're utilizing it. And there's all these binaries out there, Mac, Linux, Windows, that can do things that are outside the normal scope. The normal thinking of what they should be able to do, they can do these other things.
You can execute, like for instance, you can execute shellcode using IE. So by opening it up in a browser, you can execute shellcode within IE to then get any sort of do privilege
whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
And
arbitrary code.
Yeah. So there's not just like one thing out there, that's why I said, you need to have antivirus, but you also need to have EDR. You still need to have that perimeter, firewall. You need to have your web filter out there. Like all these things, that the onion, multiple layers. And ultimately it's best if you have that, somebody monitoring all this stuff, because if you have all this technology in place and all it does is collect information, but nobody's actually looking at it, it's completely worthless.
Yep. And also training and making people aware, doing security awareness training, making sure people aren't doing stuff to mitigate stuff like that, because I've
mean,
heard
yeah.
some horror stories on that.
I mean,
Sorry, Jack, didn't mean to interrupt you there.
go ahead, Jack. If you're not going to go ahead, you will always have new employees. You will always have that one person who keeps clicking on shit. So you are always going to have that internal threat somewhere. You can't fully mitigate that, but training will definitely lessen, your risk. But training will not mitigate it in and of itself.
Yeah. So yeah, it needs to be. That's what, and same goes with like the technology side, which is why I wanted to bring up like that outer layer of your security onion needs to be your people. You can have all these other layers that go a little deeper into the tech side, but you need that the first layer is always going to be people.
Exactly, because what happens whenever you take the laptop outside of the premises, or and
or you just
that
get fished.
layer. Yeah, or you get fished, but you take it outside. They connect to Starbucks because that's what they do. And then they have something on their system that now comes back into your perimeter. It never had to breach your perimeter. It hit a laptop outside of it, came back in, and now it's working on spreading. Caprico got a tunnel back, a reverse shell back, and, he's like, oh, sweet. It's finally coming from the IP address that is their external firewall.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, from the inside.
Yeah.
And they're letting me have 22 outbound or whatever.
Yeah.
Actually, fun trick for red teamers. If you need to have a something go outbound and they're blocking 22 outbound, just have SSH configured to go through port 443.
Yes.
Just do it over HTTPS.
Or take it over 52, 53.
Yep.
Yeah. Take it over like nobody is going to block DNS.
There was one time, and this wasn't I can't claim this at all, but one of my coworkers, he was telling me this one story when we were setting up this reverse shell using 443. That one time he exfilled stuff via ICMP.
No shit.
Yeah,
that's
and
nice.
I was like, what? That's awesome. Client was not happy.
I bet.
He's like, I've got all these things in place. You did like the one port that I didn't do. It's like, yeah.
Yep.
It's kind of our job.
And to, remember this 3.92 million, that's average. If you are a shop with, 70 systems,
a couple hundred systems.
Yeah, the dollar amount's not going to be that high. Whenever you start hitting like the 4 million, that's whenever you're hitting like 3,000, 2,000 plus systems, somewhere in that range. So we are still talking averages.
It also depends on your on like how much data is being
exfiltrated.
Yeah, not compromised was the word I was looking for, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah, agreed. Okay, you want to hit the phone?
Yeah, so we actually got a kind of a fun one that actually came out with proof of concept code at launch date, which I was like, I don't have to go searching for like 4 days just to find the thing. It literally took me a Google search to find it. So critical remote code execution flaw in
he meant DuckDuckGo because we are security professionals.
Yeah. You can't Google dork and duck. Well, can you? Maybe. I don't know.
Yes. Maybe. Yeah, and it's way more effective, honestly, in DuckDuckGo than Google because Google keeps changing their freaking parameters.
You gotta look at it this way: a search engine is a search engine, so it doesn't matter. The same way you're looking up information through Google with the different parameters and the different booleans and if-else conditional statements. You're going to do it with DuckDuckGo or Yandex or Baidu or Baidu or whatever else is out there.
But just to clarify, the reason why, like, I like DuckDuckGo, doesn't store cookies, doesn't store, personal information about you. Like, that is why I like DuckDuckGo. it doesn't have as much information as Google, but it also doesn't store your information. So
it also sorry.
No, go ahead.
Right.
Yeah, it also, this was why I originally started using it for a little bit, was it had a lot of tools kind of centered, or not tools, a lot of indexes centered around searches that developers would use. So when I was a developer, DuckDuckGo is the spot for me to go.
Yeah.
Try and accidental. But yeah, it's a great spot for, it's a great search engine. I would use it with Brave if you want to have full like non-storing whatever.
And that's what I actually do. I couple it, like whenever I'm here at home, I have a pie hole. I have a pie hole, so that X's out most of the advertisements coming in. And then couple, Brave with DuckDuckGo. I mean, it's a really nice mixture. Okay.
Yeah. Back to the vulnerability of the week, and bye, Charles. Critical remote code execution flaw in Palo Alto gateways hits Uber. So Uber got hit with something kind of funny. So the flaw in, what is it called? In Palo Alto networks, their gateway global protect interface. Yeah, if you give it a format string, or like a specific format string in the company's SSL gateway, and that's what handles client to server SSL handshakes and stuff like that, you get code execution. And I'll go into that in a second here. And the almighty curl is basically all that the code is. So it got hit, or not it. Uber actually got hit with it because the researchers decided to use it on Uber on their website.
Uber.
So Orange Sai, I think I'm saying that correctly, and Mei Chang, they did the whole write-up here. Essentially, what the bug was, where it would say, hey, there's invalid parameters if you curled it. So if you did a post request to it with a bunch of these just trying to do a buffer overflow basically through the parameter, eventually you could do something like this, where if you gave it all of your different commands and whatever, you could, and with all of the different parameters here, you could then send a post request via curl to then do whatever this command string is here, where in this place it uploads a file named or echoes pwned into hack.txt on the web server. And we can, or in this case it was hacked.txt, which but he decided to do this against Uber's internal.com. And
nice.
Yeah, that was bad. And yeah, it's bad, but it's a nice little thing so that if you're at home or if you're within a lab, or if you need to test this vulnerability to then mitigate it within your organization, code's right here. I have it linked in the show notes as well. You can make this do whatever you want. So if you wanted, instead of just to put in, say, a text file, you could put in a reverse shell to that box and then pivot through their gateway. So it pretty much, it's bad. So have fun.
So
and there is a patch for it.
This is an issue with Palos, right?
Mm-hmm. Palo
now,
Alto.
Uber was who they utilize as the victim, as the client study, but this is an issue with Palos.
Yeah, so this is an issue with Palo Alto, and they have provided this to Palo Alto within the bug bounty program Yeah.
Yeah, I need to
And
check out Palo. Like, if I can like submit and disclose on the same freaking day.
yeah, I mean, some companies are like that. Some companies are okay with you putting out the code as long as there's a patch for it. But if they don't have a patch,
But they
yeah.
do have a patch. So this
Yeah.
guy disclosed it some point in the past, and now that they have a patch, or disclosed it to Palo sometime in the past, and
Yep.
now that they have a patch, now he's releasing. Okay,
Yep. So
just checking.
yeah. So I don't know. According to our survey, so for a list of affected devices, you can see that in the second article as well, that the security researchers put up on blog.orange.tw. So there is a couple of devices that aren't affected by this, and it's either because the feature was either updated or didn't exist, because I'm thinking it was updated in version 9, but wasn't updated, or didn't exist in, or at least this version of it didn't exist in version 7.0. So if you have one that's
Okay.
a little older, it's not vulnerable, but if you have one that's newer, it's also not vulnerable, but anything in between, you're kind of just boned.
Nice.
But yeah, there's also a way to check this as well. So if you don't want to actually exploit your system, you can actually just do this, which I actually like this a lot. I want researchers to start doing this more, where they give you a way to actually just verify it without actually exploiting or wrecking any of the systems, because that is something that is on a daily basis, like a daily annoyance for me when assessing different vulnerabilities that may be present within engagements.
Yeah.
So it's just doing a time curl and with different parameters to your global protect SSL manager, and then putting that in the dev null and echoing that out, you can see what's going. You can see the differences in time and actually see how stuff is going. So if you see stuff going higher and higher, it means that stuff is actually getting ran on the back end.
Yeah, and honestly, Palos are by far one of my favorite firewalls.
Mm-hmm.
From a
Very
corporate perspective. I mean, they way more innovative than the vast majority of others out there. Stop a lot of stuff. In a previous company, we went from Cisco ASAs that would accept anything on a VPN connection practically to Palos. And Palos, actually said, okay, well, if you're using this encryption, we're using this, and they have to also use this exact same encryption. Whereas most environments I've been in with ASAs, you would end up saying, okay, well, here are the list of encryptions that we will accept. And Palo's like, no, screw that. You choose the one that you want to use, and the other guy's got to use that too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, that alone for me was like, ooh, that's actually pretty sweet. But I mean, they're mixed with Wildfire. I actually like what the Palos do quite a bit.
Yep. I also, from not having to directly work with them, but using them has been a little bit easier than some of the Cisco stuff. So,
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily always say easier, but I mean, from a security perspective, like, I haven't messed with what's Cisco's newer stuff past the ASAs.
Frick.
Crap, I can't even remember it. Whatever it is.
Firepower.
Yeah, Firepower. So, from a management perspective, Palos are definitely easier to work with, from a management perspective than Firepower, as well as the older school stuff. But yeah, I mean, one of the few times I will actually say Palo wins hands down over Cisco, like just about in every freaking category.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, from what I've heard from engineers that have had to work with firepower, it's a pain in the butt. So,
I mean, it's an updated version of the ASA and
right.
those interfaces and yeah.
Yep. So that's vulnerability of the week. Go and check out that stuff. Play around with it. Don't exploit something that isn't your own. Exploit it in a lab or with permission.
Wow, look at Caprico dropping the. Oh yeah.
Well, I don't want the video to get taken down by YouTube. Although, actually, quick segue. YouTube is actually, and YouTube/Google has actually redacted their tool or their terms on hacking videos. So they're actually working to make it so that you can do it and put stuff up from a research perspective now.
So the videos that are up that they took down, have they brought them back up?
I believe so. Like
Okay.
the big one, I think, with the firework or shooting off fireworks over Wi-Fi, I think they got that figured out and put it back up. But I don't know. I don't see this as like, okay, we fixed it. This is a step in the right direction, I guess. But
yeah, I mean, because research is still research. It doesn't matter if it's medical, if it's whatever, security. It's still research, and it's working to make something better. So,
yeah, it's just kind of funny to me that now that I think about it, I just thought of this funny analogy. So like you can literally pop, or like you have channels like Dr. Pimple Popper, like you're literally showing what could be considered gore. On
how popular that kind of channel is too.
Right, and she actually got her own TV show too on TLC for that.
Explain this to me.
So there was a channel that you could of a licensed physician who was.
I thought she was a dermatologist
or whatever. I couldn't remember the name.
And she's a really cute Asian lady. That helped.
Sure. She started recording some of the operations that she was doing and posting them to YouTube, of her like popping like cysts, like blackheads and all this other stuff. And people like really enjoyed it.
What?
Videos that drop a lot of excitement and they
stop
really
playing it.
grow.
I'll put the link. You can take a look at the channel.
Yeah. No, she actually, but like stuff like that, it kind of falls in the same line in my mind as this is something for like, if you're going in for one of those things and you want to know what's actually going to happen, like surgeons do that all the time where they record their surgeries and post those out for like,
well, I mean, that's
routine stuff.
But that's not really, if you consider somebody getting their back popped from getting their blackhead from like 20 years ago popped as gore, and surgery is gore.
Some of them. I'm not saying like it's all out of like all of it is gore. I'm saying some of them could be considered. I'm like in YouTube's crappy algorithm for like whatever, like monetization or content filtering or whatever. Like, it just surprises me.
Well, I was about to say, because hidden in a shoebox somewhere in my closet, there's a DVD I definitely don't want people to see.
Yeah, there are times that you age, get a little older, and decide, that's something I may not want to keep anymore.
No, I'm keeping it because as long as I know it's in that shoebox in that closet, nobody else is going to be able to see it.
It's a DVD. Just break it into like a gazillion pieces.
No,
because he watches it every night before he goes to bed.
I guess
no.
I mean, what I used to like to do with DVDs and CDs? I had this massive fireplace, and whenever I left, I swear there was probably at least 1,000 burst DVDs and CDs in that fireplace. It was just fun.
No, I'm not gonna burn
Sounds
it.
like
And
lung cancer waiting to happen. Isn't that? Aren't there like some things in the CDs that probably you shouldn't inhale the fumes of?
Probably just because
Yes.
it's
Yeah.
plastic.
Skank.
Just a thought.
I mean, I will give you a hint. It's from 2000. It's from March of 03 to March of 04.
Got it. I know what it is. But yeah, so I don't know. Quick segue. We can jump into some of the more vulnerable stuff.
Stuff.
I'm getting look at some of my vulnerable stuff.
Oh, was that the segue?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought there was going to be a segue, like after you said quick segue. Okay, Pro FTPD, FTPD. Whoops. So Pro FTPD, and honestly, sorry, I didn't get a better article on this one. But remote code exec bug exposes over 1 million servers. So, security researcher uncovered critical security vulnerability in it. Puts over 1 million servers at risk. Even though the flaw was disclosed to Pro FTP in September of last year, there is still no patch. However, threat can be mitigated by means of a workaround. Vulnerability is tracked via CVE, which is in the article. Check show notes. Affects mod copy module of Pro FTPD in every single Pro FTPD version. The workaround consists of disabling this module in the Pro config file. So if you are out there and run a Pro FTPD server, check out the CVE. You can disable it and be good.
Yep.
Pop.
So I linked in the show notes this article from Bleeping Computer, which is where the read more section of the article Israel put up goes to. And it kind of goes a little more in depth on the technical side of where that stuff is, how the config or what conditions it needs to be, and all this other stuff. And there's a patch. There's a patch backported to 1.36, and there's a workaround available, according to Bleeping Computer.
Well, the workaround's going to be disabling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, but it's FTP. I mean, you shouldn't have that facing outbound, but
yeah, I mean,
externally.
I mean, if you guys still have like straight, at least do FTP, secure FTP. If you're still going to do some type of FTP, and then still keep up, watch for bugs, watch for vulns on it, update it, because that's the thing with a lot of FTP systems and SFTP systems. A lot of the time, sysadmins will throw them out there, make it convenient for people to do stuff, and then, okay, it's here. You guys go use it, and never look at it for next year.
Well, in one instance, I didn't even know that on my network there was an FTP server that was legacy that somebody set up way the heck back when.
Yeah, that exact thing happened to me probably about 5 years ago, and it was like, holy what? I mean, and honestly, it was a straight up FTP server, and I'm like,
right.
Holy shit, really?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
just has anonymous login and everything.
Yeah, but it's got a password. What is it? Anon. I'm like, nah, gotta go.
Dude, that shit's been hit by China more times than once. Oh man. Like that one box I showed you, Jack, where it's just like everything has a shell on it. Oh, that was bad. That was really bad. My God. Yeah. So general rule of thumb in my mind, don't run FTP externally, like, or at least have some sort of access control lists in place or something.
No,
Like
do not run FTP ever.
Yeah.
Run SFTP at minimum, and then keep it updated. Watch what users are allowed on it. Everything else. I mean, like, you're going with an unencrypted tunnel. Like, come on, really?
Mhm. Or just have everyone learn how to SC stuff real quickly. I mean, hey, that you can't like just write. I don't know. It's like we have all these different things like that. I mean, heck, like even using SharePoint or any of the OWA tools.
Yeah, but
Like
you also have
stuff
to
like that.
remember, though, a lot of times FTP will be used for like third party, contractors, third parties, companies that you are dealing with, not necessarily like internal employees.
If you're okay, so if you're third party, if a third party is working with you and they tell you have FTP open, so externally so that they can interface with it, tell them to get bent.
Well, yeah, but I mean, think about like engineering companies.
Mhm.
They have CAD files that are 10 gig.
Mhm.
You're not going to email that. You don't want to set up an internal SharePoint account, which means AD account, everything else for them. So you need some type of a mechanism to share that data. So you're going to set up some type of a FTP,
Yeah,
something like that. So
or you do. So here's what I had as a solution. And this is actually a problem I had to tackle when I was a developer with an architecture firm with these different CAD files and like 30 gig PDFs. For some reason, they were 30 gigs.
exactly.
What ended up working was we would go through via the web application to over encrypted channels to an S3 bucket that would store everything that they owned and was configured correctly and whatever, and wouldn't allow like remote users to just be whatever and pull things, and just have everything up there so that they need to share stuff, then they could put it up through the web application that way.
Yeah, which is
there's
a really good solution.
Yeah, there's other ways around doing stuff like that, and so FTP, yes, quick and dirty solution for sure, but use SFTP if you have more time and more resources. Get some sort of like feature within a like application to then go out to an S3 bucket, because then everything's going over HTTPS, hopefully. But even at that, even then, like having it just, yeah. So for the architecture firm stuff, I get it. There's other ways to work with it too. And it was something that actually came up like a month before I had to fix that. I got the issue raised to me. So that was good timing. Because S3 buckets just became a thing and it worked with our framework and everything. So
yeah, I mean, and it's a thing that organizations hit constantly, because you have to be able to share data and large sizes of data between different organizations. If you want to be a business and stay in place and actually do business, like it happens. So just try to do it the right way, as secure as you potentially can.
There's also another, and I think it's a Microsoft product, but I think they have encrypted secure share folders that you have to create the share folder, and then you give via email access to those share folders, but those are encrypted. So then it shares the key within like it checks your email and then it serves the key via HTTPS. And
I swear you're talking about OneDrive right now.
I think it's OneDrive, but
Yeah.
it doesn't have the same interface from what I have been using. So
One thing to keep in mind here is that a lot of businesses will use FTP not necessarily for a human interactive purpose. It's usually for an automated transfer of files, like a managed file transfer, or some kind of automatic data processing. So that they're the ones who typically use it.
Yeah.
And some of the stuff they use is really old, so trying to get them off FTP may be impossible to near impossible.
And a lot of the time they'll be interacting like IoT types of devices with that. So yeah, it definitely becomes fun.
Yeah, and now that I think about it, there is one instance where it's used, but I'm not going to say publicly who uses it.
Caprico's mom.
No.
I hope not, dude. My mom is more paranoid than I am right now. So that I have
good. You've done your job.
Yeah, right.
You were a worthwhile birth.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
I don't know, Cap. I picture your mom being like June Cleaver baking cookies and shit.
No, she does that, but then she whenever she logs in, she's answering like 3 different push notifications.
I'm thinking more like Betty White, but okay.
Mom, sorry if you're watching this.
June Cleaver, Betty White. I mean, pretty close.
Hi, Mom. But yeah, so. And also just having, even just at a base level, access control logs, like only XIP can interface with this FTP server. But why would it be? Yeah, I don't know. There's range of IPs. Like there's a lot of things that you can do to not mess with it, to secure it, or at least make it harder.
Yes. And Jova, not forgetting you. Yes, there will always be 0 days, and OneDrive, Dropbox, etc. Yes, but and the way they do that, the kind of unique link that they use for sharing is not necessarily unique. We found that out over the years, that there is the potential of finding that unique link. So I'm still, kind of so on how that sharing occurs.
Wasn't there just no, that was an Instagram thing. My bad.
I mean, because Dropbox was notorious for that back in the day. Their algorithm really sucked. I think they have improved it over the years now, but there was a program written, it was probably like 5-6 years ago, that essentially you could create Dropbox links, and it would throw up all these links, and come to find out these are like valid Dropbox links. And so somebody had figured out kind of like the algorithm that Dropbox was using to generate their links. And even though they were like, I don't know, 20 characters long with, blah for the, upper B, lower A, whatever, somebody actually figured that out a few years back. But they have modified the algorithm since then, so it is definitely better. But yeah, back in the day, like I would not touch Dropbox for anything, just because I knew that was out there.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
that's right.
All right, very quickly, because it's not really that there is a vulnerability, but it's that there's a fix.
I will be right back.
Mm-hmm. So Apple's iOS 12.4 and Watch OS 5.3 updates to fix the walkie-talkie vulnerability. So a couple weeks back, this dropped where essentially there was an eavesdropping vulnerability again. The same thing with like FaceTime, where you could just like do whatever. Yeah. Eavesdropping in iOS seems to be like the goal for most researchers this year, but there is a patch out for it now. I figured I would just throw it in there because I don't think we covered it last week, but it's something good to just be like, hey, patch your stuff because there's a fix now. Please do it. And also, Apple has been trying to fix a lot of stuff lately, from like FaceTime, Zoom to this. So just a quick little sidebar there. And next, we've got the bulletin of the week. So every week we put out, or we don't put this out, we put in the show notes a full list of the weekly bulletin from CISA, the Cyber Infrastructure branch of the Homeland Security of the United States. And it has a list of all vulnerabilities that were published this week and giving their severities. So look through that. It's always a good thing to look at on a weekly basis. See if there's anything new. For instance, like, hey, here's Edge, where there's a remote execution vulnerability that exists in a way that Microsoft browsers access objects in memory, aka Microsoft browser memory corruption vulnerability. So if you also want to do like a research project or start working on writing exploits, this is kind of a good spot to look at too. So yeah, we do that every week, where we put this in the show notes, which are in the description underneath each of our streams. You can go to the show notes, and it'll always be the last one inside vulnerable stuff. All right. So now, unless anyone has anything on either of those topics, I'm going to take Adrian's crackling of like a potato chip bag or something as a new.
Sorry, I'm getting my raccoons in order.
Oh, okay. That sounds good. Like actual raccoons, like you have to like
not actual ones. Actual raccoons don't make very good pets, all things considered. I got a pack of stickers here that I was curious how many was in one pack. And I was counting them, and now I got to put them in something else because they were wrapped up in cellophane before.
Oh, okay.
Or something like that. Cellophane, shrink wrap, clear plastic.
I mean, the only thing I know that ever came in cellophane like that was.
Okie dokie. So next up on the show notes, 2 years and 4 scorned. Equifax to be fined $700 million in data breach settlement. So this dropped 2 days ago, and link is in the show notes. Go here, share my screen. Equifax will pay up to $700 million in fines and monetary relief to customers over the 2017 data breach at the Credit Reporting Bureau that affected nearly 150 million people. The proposed settlement, which is subject to approval by federal court, so this is not approved yet, was announced Monday by the company, the Federal Trade Commission, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, 48 states, the District of Columbia, and Puerto Rico. So it is a full-blown settlement across like everything.
Oh, it's not really.
It is not a lot, though.
No,
all things considered.
No, it's not.
No, it really isn't.
Yeah, because if we do 100, so that's why I brought this up. So
I have a sub article that talks about that, why it's not enough, really.
Yeah. Well, here's something that's interesting. If you take 700 million, so we'll just take 700 and divide that by 150 million, you basically have. Ooh, that's, I can't do the math on this. Hang on, 700 or 700 million, and divide that by, stop. All right, calculators are fun. Get rid of this. But essentially, if you, 700 million, and then divide that by 150 million, which is for how many people were actually affected by the breach, that equates to $4.6 per record.
I'm getting rich. Woo!
No. And then don't forget that out of that settlement breakdown, let me see here. What was the number that they're going to pay?
$700 million is the proposed at this time.
Only 300 of that is going towards the settlements.
Mm-hmm.
So it's half. So it's up to 300 million.
I heard less than that because I heard like the CFPB was going to get like 590 of that.
425 million.
425. Okay.
425 million is going to the CFPB.
Which we won't even get into what the fuck they're going to do with the money. But they said up to the article I read, it was up to 300 million that was going to be for these for that settlement account.
Well, Jack, it's a government agency, so hookers and blow.
No, it's actually going to go to an account that's controlled by Congress.
Oh, so hookers and blow. Okay.
So they're really getting sent to the fucking wood chipper on that.
Yeah. Equifax also has agreed to pay $175 million to the states and $100 million to CFPB in civil penalties. So none of this is getting settled in towards actually helping people that were affected by the breach. It's all most is going to other agencies that worked just to get to this point.
But wait, no, there's more. So of the amount there really is more here. This is the really fucked up part. If that's not fucked up enough, of the amount that's being designated for victims, you can claim up to $200,000. Or sorry, 20,000, not 200. Put a zero there. $20,000 in damages that you had to expend to secure your credit or anything like that. But the reporting and documentation required for that is very onerous. So good luck getting much of that, if not more.
Yep. So So 2 years have gone by and they still haven't figured out, and pardon my French, a fucking solution to this. And granted, biggest breach of all time, I also wouldn't have any fucking idea, but like where to start. But there are a couple things where it's like, really, guys? Come on, this is what you guys are thinking?
Yeah, and keep in mind with the credit bureaus, again, I used to work for Experian, for those who don't know, pretty much their only real cost for your identification is to keep the lights on. They make so much money doing this shit. I'm not joking. Because they have your information by default. They sell it out to all these data warehouses and more. And yeah, they spend money to make sure that the results are fast, but they don't have to buy any. They don't have to spend any money to get your information. They have it already.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So shrug. This is probably going to keep being a developing story within the next future, or the foreseeable future that I can tell. And I can see this pissing off a lot of people, but I also think some people are going to see $700 million. That's almost $1 billion. But in all honesty, when they're not, and just not do any of the math or look into it any further, to be like, hey, this money is actually not going to actual people. It's going to government agencies. What the hell?
Yeah. Yeah, so now when I see these like for example the any other stuff like Facebook to pay $5 billion, you think any of those people, you think any of the people are going to see a dime of that? Hell no.
Yeah, even with Cambridge Analytica, like that breach, like nah, it's all going, and a lot of it's even like going overseas. Well, overseas being like into Europe and stuff like that. Like that's where a lot of companies are getting hit. But it won't go to the actual users. It'll go somewhere else where you can't touch it. So someone, and this is very erroneous to say, but someone else is profiting off of off of a breach that you might have been a part of. So
yes, especially because you didn't keep receipts and all the hoops that you have to jump through in order to get, righteous.
in terms of Equifax or any sort of credit breach or anything like that. Oh yeah, this is a cluster. Like I've been on the cast with you guys for like a year, and that was like the first thing that I brought up was
1,000
Equifax.
years.
Yeah,
That's like,
you're 15.
That's like 10 years in your time.
Mm-hmm.
What am I, like a reverse Benjamin Button here?
No, you are Benjamin Button. You've just lived a long time, and now you're getting really young now.
Cool. So I'm just gonna go way down. I'm gonna start shrinking. I'll eventually be your height in like 20 years, Israel.
That's what I hope for.
Good comeback.
That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah,
Cappy,
see what a year on the podcast.
Yeah, Cappy, this 8'7"
worth doing the book?
giant. I'm waiting for him to get down to my like 4'2" frame.
Yeah,
you ain't that short.
To Israel's level.
Israel is not 4'2", by the way, and I am not 8 foot. Whatever he said.
I'm 6'3", but I know a bunch of guys that go be a Dibicon who tower over me.
Well, yeah, you and I are close to the same height. I got a couple inches on you, but that's about it.
When Sam shows up, Sam is even taller than you.
Mm-hmm.
He's like 6'6", 6'7", or some crazy crap.
Yeah. The president of the company that I work at, he's like 6'8". So it's like, hey, dude. It's like, oh, this is how everyone else feels. It's nuts. But yeah. Equifax, this is gonna be an issue. I freaking love it. Well, at least I got content now for like the foreseeable future.
Yeah, but I mean, there's, like I said, there's not a damn thing anybody can do about it because, hey, those government entities that were acting on behalf all agree that's good enough.
Yep. They probably just don't want to. It's 2 years later. They probably just are so done with this that they don't want to deal with it anymore, because look at Congress right now. Congress is a literal, and I don't want to jump so far into politics, but it's a cluster. So they're not focused on cyber, like keeping your information secure. They want your next vote for this coming election next year. Like they are just like, this is the whole run up to that. They don't care. They want everything off of their plate so that they can start focusing on this. And this sounds like a Russ job to me. So company comes to you with their own settlement and you say, okay, yeah, nah. Like,
we thought long and hard about our penance. And
when has the U.S. government ever been in your best interest? Come on.
I can name a couple times that I can't discuss.
Few and far between, though, huh?
Well, how about if I tell you off cast? How about that?
I know, Jack. Yes, I know.
Mm-hmm. There is stuff that we don't know about that probably is within our best interest. But honestly, from what we see in the public sector, why don't we see that in the public sector? The fact that they need to keep it hidden is weird. Like all the good stuff is hidden from us. That means nothing's good is happening in the public sector. Blah.
Blah.
All right. Rant over. Israel, you're back. Go ahead. Go through the other stuff.
Yeah, so I have a couple on here. So bypassing silence by appearing to be a benign package. So let's see. Silence, I kill you. I kill you.
I kill you.
I kill you.
That was really. I heard my whole apartment echo from doing that.
Yes. The amount of 12-year-old enthusiasm was just raining.
Huh?
So what this researcher did, they reversed down silence and were able to actually, and this is a really, really nice write-up.
It's got chicken.
It does have chicken, or at least chicken head. They were able to get down to kind of the scoring that Silence does within their, at least one of their modules. And we're able to find that if they were to inject into some of their code enough information that made it look like PC-based games and stuff like that, that their code could still execute, malicious code could still execute whenever they're running it against Cylance, and Cylance would whitelist these different different games. So that alone was pretty cool because, so about a third of the way down the page, they have like the scoring. And so they were able to find the actual like scoring mechanism, which is stupid. And then the write-up's really nice. But what is really kind of fun here is not only were they able to do that. So Cylance now says, aka BlackBerry, oh yeah, we fixed it. So what they did to fix it, what is the, let me see where it is in here. So what is the solution? Our response to this vulnerability, and they're saying it's not an overwhelming vulnerability, it only affected one, blah, blah, blah. What is the solution? The solution is threefold. First, we have added anti-tampering controls to the parser in order to detect feature manipulation and prevent them from impacting the model score. Second, we have strengthened the model itself to detect when certain features become proportionally overweighted. Lastly, we have removed features in the model that were most susceptible to tampering. So, all they're saying they did was, we're trying to prevent you from looking at our code, one, and two, the stuff you disclosed to us, we built it into the model, so that specific thing will not happen anymore.
There, we fixed it.
Quote unquote.
Yeah.
Fix. I'm watching. I've got the video pulled up right now, and essentially what's happening here is he's basically just created a whole nother like file. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Just create a whole nother file. It's almost like create another file off of from another file that passes through, copy it into that.
And
that is so funny.
Enough of that gaming type of crap in there that he was talking about that it passes right past Cylance. And so if you're an attacker, like, what do you do in this situation? And Caprico, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about like real attack. What does a real attacker do in this situation? From a testing perspective, if you do not have Cylance to actively test against.
Used on the question.
What do you do if you are a real attacker, not a red team, not having more responsibilities? What do you do in this situation if you find this information out and now you have proof of concept and okay, so games probably aren't the only avenue that I can go down. Right. What do you do as an attacker?
You start looking for more ways in, like, what else is in it looking for? What will give me a positive score?
Yes.
What gives me a positive score within this stuff?
Positive score. So how are you going to get that if you don't have Cylance to actively attack against? And you have a target that you want to hit. Who are you going to hit before that target?
Small.
Somebody small. Yes. So, I mean, for me, this is opening.
City of Baltimore probably would work.
Well, I mean, everybody can hit the city of Baltimore, but that whole IT department, I feel bad for them. It sucks to be them, but fuck them.
Yeah, sure.
Well, I mean, I won't say that to the whole department. I will say that to the upper echelon
Well,
not necessarily to the guys actually doing the low-level work,
well,
because
no,
there's
I
a
mean,
lot of guys who were unfortunately put in this situation due to poor management decisions, who are having to, accept the grunt of a lot of blame.
well, I mean,
That-
it comes down to the way that the budget worked out, which was one, we're going to rob Peter to pay Paul,
Mhm.
and instead, when you keep robbing people, there's nobody getting paid.
Yep. Exactly. But yeah,
Which is fun.
but back on the Silence side, I definitely see this as, yeah, okay, so yeah, you nix the guys from these specific games, that you were whitelisting, but in the same sense, now they're gonna start looking as to what else you're whitelisting and start incorporating that. And yes,
Yeah.
they will hit the smaller contenders before they actually hit their actual targets now.
Yeah, because
My first,
if you mess up on a smaller target, no harm, no foul.
Yeah.
yeah, my first thing would be looking at seeing like what kind of text files I could, or like other like images, text files, stuff like that. But I
Yeah.
don't know, those might not be whitelisted because those are kind of known avenues. But then doing something with a
Aloba.
yeah, I don't know. Also, I don't want to give a lot of ideas. Give it away, give it away, give it away now.
That's right. Give it away. Give it away. I like that. Yeah, I mean,
So do the chili peppers.
exactly. I have not, attacked Silence, though it's one of those systems that I definitely really want to attack in the future. Even though I'm like blue team, I still really want to attack it just because I just don't like them.
Mm-hmm.
So
It's like they're a competitor to me.
no, I mean they're not. Like that's the thing. Just I mean McAfee had their report. I think it's 2 years ago now, where they completely ripped them apart, and it's like BlackBerry acquired them easily because they weren't worth shit, and I just do not like them. I think they are completely inferior. They keep claiming AI, and anybody with a clue knows AI currently does not exist. They were one of the biggest for airport advertising, for advertising to the C-suites. Like, I just don't like them.
Well, you can also throw CrowdStrike in there as well for at least the advertising side.
Oh, I agree. Yeah.
CrowdStrike. For the win.
And we have the biggest CrowdStrike proponent. Now arriving. But yeah, in
Yes,
advertising,
sir.
I hate airport advertising. I just despise that. I think
Wait, CrowdStrike's advertising at airports?
Yeah, that right
for
before
like
they
the
went
last-
public.
Yeah, like
Oh.
the last 4 years, they overtook everyone, even Barracuda,
Yeah.
for airport advertising.
No.
Yes.
Hey guys, sorry I didn't greet when I joined, but what's up, all?
What's up?
What's
Just going through all
up?
their
Hey,
stuff.
glad to see you on, Ricky.
Yeah.
Hey,
it's
anytime
been a while.
that you show up, it's a good day.
Is it?
Yeah. I don't say things like that to Jack, but I'll say that to you.
Yeah. Are we still live?
Yes,
Yeah.
we are.
Cool. Yeah, I've been busy with life stuff, so
Yeah.
Is what
But-
it is, man.
things are
But
good.
yeah.
Yeah. So there's a guy at work. His name's Chuck. He knows of you guys. He worked for Binary. He's trying to argue for Vision.
Dude, can we take this off air?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Thank
I'm
you.
just saying, he's looking to compete CrowdStrike in Vision. That was all. I'm not
Okay.
going to go into the pros and cons of either. I'm obviously a CrowdStrike fan, but I know Vision's a good product. So
Yeah.
Did you think I
Yes.
was going to dish your product on live air? No.
Yeah, but I still don't want to like straight, make
know.
this into an infomercial for my company. So.
Oh.
Oh, so you're a corporate whore
that
now.
Yeah.
No, I said I don't want to make this an
No.
infomercial for my company.
He just acted like he owned the company.
The company I work, the company I work for.
I love you.
I do.
Roasted.
So what's we talking about?
We're talking about Silence.
Yeah, we were talking about Silence and my
Can we
continual.
all shit on Silence equally?
I think we just did, but yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
I mean, like I've been ripping them left and right because I just think, because the vast majority of companies I have respect for, even if I'm in competition with them, I at least respect them. Silence is one of those that just pisses me off consistently. The McAfee report 2 years ago, where they brought Silence out and they were like completely lying in regard to what they do, locally, offline, stuff like that. And then the airport advertising, that is a huge annoyance to me. But yeah, I'm
y'all remember when there was the AV wars 2 or 3 years ago?
Oh yeah.
Where like Silence, Sophos, McAfee were like battle royale shit.
Yeah. And that's where McAfee like took a completely offensive, posture, and like took Silence and was and completely. You are showing your face. It was beautiful too. We wish Jack would, because Jack has a beautiful face.
You don't even know you only want to do that because you want to know what I look like, because I'm still gonna choke you out in the elevator.
Dude, we are friends on Facebook.
You're not choking me
I
out,
know what you look like.
I'm choking Israel out.
Yeah, because me and you are boys.
You might be helping.
But
I might have to like intervene between Jack and Israel. I think
Jack,
I'm on Jack's side. I'll set him up. He
What?
said he's really up. I'll put him to sleep and then let Jack finish him off.
It always seems
Sorry.
like
That would be Jack's optimal condition. Yeah, Jack would love that.
You notice how Jack hasn't threatened to put me out, right? Because he knows I'd get up on him. I'd fleece his ass.
I got Jack's back. So.
No, Derek, like, oh, you want to roll? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Keep
I've
rolling.
I've had my cauliflower ear surgery, so I'm good.
Wait, what?
But
you did?
Yeah, I had cauliflower ear pretty bad, and I had the all the stuff removed, the juices, the cartilage.
Yeah, because it's essentially like juices and like scar tissue, right?
Yeah, it's nothing but scar tissue, pus, and other stuff. And I had them remove it and clean it up, because there's nothing like going to a job interview for a position like what I have and what we do, and having ears that look like you've been
a boxer or
mauled in a alley.
Yes. Yeah.
I might look up this condition.
And we should probably take the rest of that offline.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We can take you. Yeah, everything I say can be taken offline.
I know.
I am a habitual line stepper, and always have been.
I try to keep what should be online versus offline, in keep. So,
hey, for you folks listening at home, we say offline. We actually send each other snail mail. We use feather pens and we write each other. It's really.
I've got
cool.
a pigeon sitting outside here, ready to go.
Whoa! Really? Like, you guys actually?
Yes.
So I've been driving to all your homes and all this stuff, and like, you guys actually send mail?
We send mail, and sometimes me
what
and
the hell?
Send carrier pigeons.
Yeah,
ravens.
Yep.
I threw up freaking smoke signals, and you guys said you couldn't see them. What the?
Wasn't big enough.
Look, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I can't look that far north.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
And
I'm
plus you're
sorry.
using,
Yeah,
like-
you are south of Mason. Wait, shit. What's it called?
Mason line.
Yeah, Mason-Dixie line. Yeah. Yeah.
Also the Bible Belt.
Yeah, the Bible. Yeah, that's a lot easier. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll try to do that one.
Yeah, so Cylance is a company that is, I'm not going to say vaporware, but they took their road show on the road, tuned it specifically for that road show, and in reality could not compete in the market with even the old school AV products.
Yeah, and honestly, like that is sad.
That's not just my opinion. That is, we POC'd it for 12 months. They let us POC the product at my past company.
Hey, Ricky, real quick. Yep. I hear sirens in the background. Do you need to take cover?
No, sir.
Oh, okay.
I did something earlier today. I don't think they'd come for that.
Oh, okay. Good.
Yeah.
It's just getting louder and louder.
It really is. It's
are we doing hood rat shit? Because yeah, I'm good for that.
Oh, you guys know I'm a hood rat.
Yeah. They're like coming straight for you. It sounds.
See, Darren, that's why I won't catch you.
Yeah, dude.
Love you, Jack.
Jack is of. He's a brown skinned man, and we don't want police randomly showing up to his house. They treat me bad enough.
I just thought he had a really freaking good tan.
He's actually he's actually purple.
Oh, wait, whoa! So purple, like, and Willy Wonka, like is like Jack, dude. I totally know you're a guy, but are you like? Did that somehow manifest that you're that chick that like grows? Yeah, into a blueberry.
Jack, you know what I'm talking about,
okay.
Right? Like, there's some dudes that are black. They're so black, they're like purple or bluish color. You know what I mean? Is Charles on the line?
No, dude, you are completely dying within every single thing you say right now.
Jack, you know what I'm talking about. Don't lie.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not that dude from the Janet Jackson "Love Will Never Do Without You" video. I'm not that guy.
But you know what I'm talking about, right? Those dudes so black they look almost purple or blue or something. They got a hue about them.
Like I said, that dude in that Janet Jackson "Love Will Never Do Without You."
Yes.
Yeah. So I went to school with a guy that was super ultra black. I mean, he was black like Wesley Snipes or darker. And they called him crispy, which I later learned was a negative word.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't know it at the time. Everybody just called him crispy.
Wait, what?
All the time.
But also, who called him crispy? Like, who was allowed to say that?
Other black dudes.
Other black people.
Okay.
Black people, depending on
when I went to school,
you are, they have racist slurs for each other.
When I went to school, we all fucked with each other about race.
It was
fun, wiggly, and it was always in a humorous context, and everybody was in on the joke. There was no, nobody had ill intent. It didn't get like that. It was just fucking with people like you would about neighborhoods or sports fandom and stuff like that. That's how it was.
I mean, because I am definitely not allowed to call anybody crispy. So, just to put that out there, never called anybody
you can call me
crispy
if you want.
Oh, thank you. I've been looking forward to this day all my life.
You two I'm talking about, Tommy Ford in New York. He apparently, a lot of his detractors call him crispy all the time.
Who's that?
I've also seen some conservative black folks who call the other side, oh crap, there's some crap, I don't even remember the fucking terms. But those all sorts of insults going back and forth.
You mean shines?
Shine is one of them. Yes, there's also a term that's like in some African language that ukata.
What?
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah,
what's shine though?
That's a term that,
like shoe shine.
Sometimes called right.
No, it's not that.
It's not.
No.
Oh, my bad.
I can describe it, but it's still.
Let's go off here with that.
Yeah.
No, right wing black is called left wing black stat, I think.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm
and a kata.
this.
I think it's a kata, and I don't know which language that comes from. In one of the African languages, the Hoteps use that phrase a lot. It seems.
Wait, what was it?
A kata?
A kata?
I may be mispronouncing it. It's something that Uncle Hotep he uses that term fairly frequently.
Okay.
I like him, and I like Hotep Jesus. They're cool dudes.
Yeah, you ever watch Joe Rogan's past of Hotep Jesus?
No, but it's on my playlist.
He has some weird ideas. I like the guy, but he's got some ideas that I don't think are historically accurate.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of taking things off air, let's finish up those show notes real quick before we get ourselves shot in the foot.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm on the line, so we shoot ourselves in the foot.
You are on the line.
That is true.
Evil No.
Sorry, guys.
Good, man.
Who added Evil No?
Evil Gnome or Gnome.
Yeah. I'm not gonna know. I'm not the gnome. I'm a gnome. Sorry.
Okay, this is a new variant of spyware that's out there. It might be it has nor has it been confirmed that it was a part of that Russian leak.
Ooh.
Oh, interesting.
And it targets specifically the GNOME desktop. Fucking surprise. But it is a script that the end user has to run or in a self-extracting tarball.
Okay.
What is this now?
It is spyware that targets the GNOME desktop interface.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So
just looking through it.
As Rick used, as Rick is like, I use GNOME like all over the place.
Yep.
Well, that's why I use Cinnamon. So fuck off. So unless you've used unauthenticated sources and uncompressed self-extracting tarballs, you should be just fine. What I like is eventually these features such as taking screenshots, but it gives itself away by constantly pinging the C2 system.
What was their initial entry point?
There is no initial entry point. It turns out that an earlier version of this was actually uploaded to Virus Total.
Ooh.
Virus Total got the sample. But
I assume it's something that somebody goes out, downloads,
yes,
to become infected. So
right.
it's a manipulated source file.
Yes.
Okay.
So phishing attack.
Payload. Yeah, but I mean, if red teamers were able to get their hands on it, you could have all kinds of juicy information. Extract this tarball.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so you get access to their files.
My expense report is within this tar file.
And so much of that, like the tar balls and stuff that I get, I just use a script to extract it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can go ahead and run that script if you want to, but
I don't use GNOME. I'm an XFCE guy.
I'm sorry, I use Cinnamon. So
yeah, I feel you.
But yeah, so it can take screenshots of desktop. You can exfiltrate files if you want to.
Wait, this sounds more than spyware to me.
And there was one file that was partially there was a module in there. There was a module in there, but it wasn't written yet. That something key, and they think it's you're not muted, homie.
Ricky, you're not muted.
Oh, my bad. My dog, just as a quick sidetrack, it needs his anal glands extracted.
Wait,
Yeah.
extract-
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
So
Dude,
sorry about that.
What? And the heck? Like,
Yeah.
do
Dogs need, sometimes they get, I don't know, a buildup of juices.
a
in their
little
anal
backed up.
glands.
So
Yeah.
And
do you do this on a nightly basis or like a weekly
no,
basis?
No, we take them to the vet who does it.
Yeah.
But I came home today and it was just this waft smell coming from him. And I just walked back into our living room area and I told my wife, I'm like, Jesus Christ. What is going on with the dude's butthole? We need to get this fixed now.
That is
Sorry.
getting sampled.
That is a classic Irongeek cast material.
Yeah.
It is definitely something, yes.
Sorry, Israel.
I know, Ricky.
I'm sorry, Jack, for offloading. That sounds more like more than spyware to me, though. Exfiltrating files. I'm trying to get this shit back on track.
And anal glands. Yes.
Yeah,
We get it. Yeah.
Yes. So the spyware will actually extract from your anal glands. It's a brand new technique.
I am so glad you said it, not me.
Yeah, for your anal biometrics.
Oh,
who uses
yes.
GNOME anyway? Goddamn people.
I mean, honestly, like I know a lot. Like I don't, but there's a lot of people who use GNOME. So
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, it's definitely an attack.
KDE by default. XFCE if you're legit. I'm just kidding. I just prefer the menu to the other desktop managers. There's a lot to use. I know GNOME's a classic though, so no begrudging to anybody that uses GNOME. I'm just messing around.
And honestly, too, think about it. Like Kali uses GNOME.
Yep.
I know, but a lot of people coming up in the industry use GNOME, and a lot of them don't necessarily realize that they're using that, because they're kind of entry.
Yep. So if people use Kali, they're listening to this, try XFCE.
Yep.
So change your desktop manager. It's fairly easy within Kali. The menu is a little bit more intuitive. It's easier to find things. Others who use Kali might be able to speak a little bit more on this. I know some people use it as their primary desktop, which I absolutely don't recommend. But some people do. And they use it all the time. I have a secondary laptop that has Kali on it, but my primary never. My work laptop. Adrian, you might use Kali as your primary desktop, just because of what you do.
Not primary desktop, but of course I keep a VM around for that. My primary desktop is OS 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
Honestly, like I use Kali probably 100% for about 4 years.
Yeah.
And it was not necessarily on the hacking side, because I already had the hacking side down. It was to just fully learn Linux. Yeah. Like I wanted
Is
to dive.
Kali the best way to
No.
learn Linux?
No. I completely punished myself. But I mean, Kali was what I knew, because I had used it from backtrack all the way up, And so
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, we're
like
all old.
Yeah.
Security, so I think we all do.
Yeah, we're completely insecure. We're all
I use
insecure.
Ethereal. Like that far back.
I mean, back in the day, I used freaking DSL. Like, if anybody remembers damn small Linux, I mean, like, it was, I don't know, 6, 7 meg. And I used
your
to
guy for lightweight Linux installs.
Yeah, like DSL, back in the day, like I would pop like Best Buy systems and completely compromise every system on the showroom floor. I'm sorry for anybody who's listening. I am completely outside of anything timeline you could ever think of. But I would use DSL to compromise and reset every password on everything.
Oh,
like
on Windows, it was
20
so
years
easy.
ago.
It didn't need to be DSL, but
I mean, it was just
super easy.
Yeah, it was any OS you had available, you know.
But
And
it was particularly easy with Windows. You would just
yeah.
erase the admin password.
Yeah.
Just blanket.
Yeah. And I think to this, like, it's been a while since I did it. Last time I actually did it live was like 2 years ago. Like sticky keys still works, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
But for people that are curious about, you know, the smaller Linux installs, hit Jack up. He's the guy for that.
Yeah. Ooh, look at Ricky. Oh my gosh, you've never looked better. Like,
what?
You're completely black. You have a amazing tan right now. Like, that's like
I actually
can't,
do.
I
if
wish
Adrian were to see me, he wouldn't say I was pasty. I'm legit. I'm legit. Probably, I don't know. How tan am I? I'm not tan, Mom tan.
I'm about I've ever been in my life, and essentially I look like recycled paper.
Oh. Yeah.
So
I get.
Yeah. So you're like, you know, a slight brownish color. You know,
I am
maybe between like white and beige.
Who's that?
Adrian.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm fully like, you know, a Mexican that has come over south of the border.
Oh, that's good info. Like I know some ice guys. Like we can take care of that if you're okay.
Hey. Puerto Ricans are not Mexicans. You shut your dirty mouth. So back to Kali being a primary desktop. How do you like that transition? So what we did when I was on the pen test side, and I'm still purple team, so we do pen test at my company. My team's responsible for that. We just had to prove out Bluekeep and why it needed to be patched. But I had just a box with Kali in. It was a headless box with Kali installed on it. And I had a drop box with Kali on it.
Oh, look at that facial hair. I mean, that's good stuff.
Quit looking at me.
Quit showing your screen.
You son of a bitch. Upstairs in my office, I think I told you guys I redid it. So I've got my podcast mic up there. I got my green screen if I need it. It's all hooked up.
Hey, honestly, I'm really looking for that green screen and seeing definitely, you know, better version of you. I can't wait
to a time when you come up here and you give me more than a 20-minute notice.
Hey, you know, I'm here. Like, you want to hang out? That's good stuff, isn't it? Yeah. I honestly did not even think about it. Like, because I thought I was going to be busy like the entire day. And then all of a sudden I'm like, holy crap. Like, I'm here and, you know, I have my son, my wife here. And it's like, oh, crap. Like,
I think I was in Hocking Hills or something.
Yeah. But I'm like, who around here? And so I started like, you know, pinging people to see who's up and about. And yeah, next time I will definitely give you more notice.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Think of me first. I am your bro
Dude,
sexual partner.
You give me no money though. Like the people who give me money, who help like finance my life, my no air conditioning, you know, those people come first though.
I will give you I will buy you a burger.
Ooh.
If that will help your financial situation.
You know what I have not had? Hey, you have a hammock, but it probably is not designed like a ship. If it was designed like a ship, I would definitely give you a lot of credit on that.
My new one is. I haven't hung it up yet.
Ooh, I like that.
And you know what? The woman
No.
on the video, when she was describing it, she runs a company that makes them. She called it a hammock.
A hammock?
And it threw me off.
Okay.
Yeah, she goes, you know, our new hammocks are what I'm like, hammock? What language is this?
That's called like California.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
No, it's not. Don't shut up, Israel. No, it's not.
Dude, honestly, come on.
I'm from California. I never heard anyone from California call it a hammock.
Bullshit. I mean, not bullshit on that you are from California, but you do not live in California.
I lived there for what, 25 years? So yeah.
And Californians call it a hammock?
Yeah, everyone I talked to called it a hammock. I never called it.
That's my hope. But I kind of feel like it is. What was that '90s movie that all my coworkers referenced that I never
guy had a
Clueless or like? Yeah, was it Clueless
it had Reese
or
Witherspoon in it? And Stacey Dash, who is hot, is.
I have no clue who Stacey
She's
Dash.
a conservative lady. She's happens to be a black lady. I want to say was she in Clueless? Was that what she was in, or?
Yeah, she was in Clueless. I didn't know she was conservative, but she is a smoking hot woman. Regardless of her color, she is just legitimately smoking. I don't know if she still is, but whatever.
Last I saw a picture of a fairly recent one, it appears she's still pretty hot.
Yeah.
All right, so I did the liberty.
Yes,
I took the liberty and
back on
found.
Topic,
okay,
Cappy.
We'll do this, and then we'll there. So here is a link, and I'll put it in the show notes because this is funny as hell. But here are all of the different ways to say a
hammock, hammock,
and if you look.
What the hell? Come on. Who pronounces hammock as other? What?
Yes. Yes. If you pronounce it hammock, I'm not your friend.
Yeah. So the one that wins is hammock, and then there's hammock.
I mean, hammock is what I've always heard.
I might say, I say hammock.
Yeah,
but
that's what I say.
I think I've heard people say hammock. Right?
There.
But if you say it quickly, it's still hammock.
It's in the show notes. Oh my gosh.
Gotcha.
All righty. So went through Evil Gnome. We'll just run through these real quick. So Facebook to pay $5 billion over privacy violations. We kind of covered this a little bit when we were talking about the actual $5 billion, B with a B.
Yeah,
Bravo.
$5 billion.
Wow.
Yeah, so Facebook will be paying $5 billion fine to resolve a government probe into its privacy practices and will boost safeguards on user data. The U.S. Federal Trade Commission and the social media company said on Wednesday. Wednesday? Today. Yeah.
Yep.
So Democrats are pissed off because it's not more than 5 million. Republicans are happy because
you said they're not happy because it's not more than 5 million.
Billion.
Is that a mistake?
Billion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And Republicans are happy because it's the largest fine in history. You know,
why is this breakdown on party lines? What the fuck?
Okay, what the fuck? Because I put in fucking Equifax gets 700 million, has the largest data breach in history.
Yeah.
And
700 million, and now we have 5 billion on the Facebook side.
Facebook is a drop in the bucket, but
and now
listening
they're pissed
to
off.
listening to the founders describe how Facebook takes your data, what they do with it. Do you guys remember when Facebook was down? I don't know, a couple of weeks ago.
No,
Instagram was down, Facebook was down, Twitter.
Ricky, I'm going to throw a sheep at you.
A sheep?
I can't even do that anymore. That's how much Facebook sucks.
No. So what I noticed was there were pictures that people had that were they couldn't load because Facebook was having issues, right?
Yep.
But it's AI generated little captions for the pictures. So it would say child smiling.
Yes.
Or family.
Yes. That gives you a small insight as to the data they are tagging and being able to then manipulate and use for advertising purposes.
Listen to one of their founders talk about how they designed it to be as addictive as possible. And you can follow that same line of thought for YouTube.
Yeah.
YouTube's algorithm is generated to keep you on there as long as possible through anger, not through happiness.
Have you looked at this thing called Twitter?
I'm not. You know what? I can give two shits about Twitter and most social networks. I'm not on it frequently. I watch you know how your phone can tell you how long you spend on apps?
Yeah.
I probably spend less than an hour a day on all the social media sites.
And that's just, that is really good. I do want to throw something out there. I have it as the keyworded thing in my Twitter. If you use Twitter, use the keyword muting. You will actually potentially like Twitter if you use the keyword muting, because then it mutes out anything that includes those keywords that you have mentioned, So for me, I mean, I have my small list. I don't know if I'm sure there's some huge list out there, but essentially I see nothing political.
Yeah.
No,
I muted out Donald Trump, conservative, liberal, progressive, socialist, communist. I muted all that out.
Yeah. All that stuff. The people I follow on Twitter, the reason I am on Twitter is to follow, security-minded individuals. And so I don't care what their political stance is. If they have something in regard to security to say, I want to see that. So I muted out everything that has to do with politics with everybody. And Twitter's actually kind of nice.
Share that list with me. Because I imagine InfoSec Twitter will be less chatty.
Yeah. I mean,
it is a cesspool right now.
It really is. And stuff still comes up and I have to tweak it from time to time. But for the most part, I am very happy with Twitter now.
Cool. Would you mind sharing it?
No, I'll throw it over in the side notes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. Yeah, we were talking, me and Steve, one of my peers at work, we were talking about InfoSec Twitter and how it's just become so toxic lately, and you don't They don't talk security anymore. It's rare.
And honestly, it's not like a lately. I mean, this has been over the last 2 years.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, it's been a while.
It started like right when I came on the cast.
Some of my favorite.
It's been building.
Honestly, it
Twitter
started with
people-
Trevor. Like Trevor started all of it. I'm pretty sure.
I think it happened before that. But I think
Cockroach.
Trevor the cockroach. Yeah. I think
Trevor
it
started all of
before
it. That little bastard.
No. Adrian,
Hashtag
do you
Trevor
agree?
forget.
It started
Hashtag
before
Trevor forget.
Trevor. I think Trevor kind of lit a fire under it, but I
Yes.
believe it existed prior to that.
Yes.
I am so surprised at the amount of people who on InfoSec Twitter think violence is a good answer to speech.
Violence is a good. Oh, well, that's bullshit.
Well, yes, of course it is.
Yeah.
But I'm surprised on how many people back that.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a guy that
like,
works for me that also agrees that, he said his wife would only bail him out of jail ever if he punched a Nazi.
what?
And so I go, who's a Nazi?
That's the point where I would have been more fervent in finding my companion. And wow.
Yeah. So tell me who's a Nazi.
I'm pretty
No.
sure Jack is a Nazi.
Yeah. Well, for
Looks
sure,
like
Jack.
the Aryan type.
But like, I wanted
I
to
love the
understand
crazy
where
that
his mind was at.
basically Jack was supporting me on something because I look like him.
Wait, what? Are you
Some
serious?
jackass, Jack replied to somebody was berating me, and said somebody's kind of negativity, and then dude, do you actually mean that, or are you just agreeing with Adrian because he looks like you or something like that?
Oh God. Oh God.
We're both tall and we're both men. Other than that, we don't look much alike.
I don't know.
I think you're missing like one key part there. Yeah.
I mean, because Jack already really, really, really loves me. I think Jack and Adrian look quite a bit alike. Jack, what do you think? Jack may have went on.
Is that
mute.
supposed to be funny? I'm not
Yes.
sure I follow.
Yes.
That was loud. I
'Cause-
felt that in my room.
They
You felt
might
what?
have some of the same
Car went by.
beliefs.
Oh, okay. Because I gave Jack some like shit this week, so I just want to really make up for it. But Jack apparently is not listening, so okay. What else we got on the note side?
You can see the Asian.
All right,
eyes,
so what the all right, next up we've got SimSwap lawsuit against AT&T goes forward
You have
from
anal
ZDNet.
glands?
Wait,
Oh my
did-
God.
Did we hit Facebook hits has to pay
Yeah.
$5 billion?
Yeah, we hit it
Oh, okay.
very
Yeah.
briefly.
So I put this one up there. So this is a lawsuit against AT&T for their failure to protect someone's account, basically from a SIM swap attack.
Yeah.
So they actually got hit twice, I believe. I kind of glanced at the article when I looked at it earlier, but so the only real reason why SMS is a bad use for second authentication is because of SIM swaps,
Yes.
which are semi-complicated to perform, but they're not super hard. It's basically relying upon good social engineering with someone at the phone company and knowing who the phone company is, which can be trivial to difficult depending on who you're working with. So a lot of companies, I've seen with T-Mobile and more, like someone will still put a security password on there or mandate they have to go into a store with a driver's license to actually get a replacement SIM. And even in some cases of those get circumvented because some CSA is pressured into doing it actually, which is a real big failure. If they even set up second methods to prevent someone from hijacking the account, well, okay. So a judge has actually permitted this lawsuit to go forward. They dismissed AT&T's motion to quash, which is a good thing because now if AT&T, which means now others as well, other telco providers in the U.S. will also, if the suit is successful, they will feel the same heat. They'll have the same potential for damages should someone else fall victim to a SIM swap attack, whether or not it's actually even damages potentially, because this guy actually had cryptocurrency stolen from him because of the SIM swap, and then I think a second attack caused something worse too.
Oh my god!
So yeah, that's always the big weak link. I mean, honestly, if we could fix that problem, then hey, SMS is easy to implement and becomes a fairly viable second factor, but of course there's always better. Yes, I know that.
Mm-hmm.
You said there was a sex factor?
What?
No, he did not say that.
I said second factor.
Oh, all right.
I mean, you can think whatever you want.
Enunciate that, dude, because I figured you said there's a sex factor, and
I mean, there probably is somewhere.
I think you're the only one that heard that, Ricky. Which
yeah,
nope, I certainly was not.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah, I think you're flying alone there, Ricky.
I don't know who Tux Loves You is, but I think he heard it too.
Every second, 7 seconds. You know.
Oh yeah.
What's that Family Guy skit? They talk about a guy thinks about sex with a woman every 7 seconds?
No. Yeah, I thought it was something like that.
No. But a white man only thinks about sex with a black man every 20 minutes, and he bangs this drum. Yeah, wait. It's a Family Guy skit. So
whatever.
It's off the wall.
Ricky, we know the road you're going down. We get it.
No, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna pull back.
Don't you mean pull out?
I'm pulling out of Jack right now.
Oh, okay. So,
okay.
I'm feeling
I love you, brother.
I'm feeling love right now. So, back to that. Shit. You guys completely threw me off what I was thinking.
No, not you guys. Ricky threw you off.
Yes, that is 100% confirmed. Okay, so SIM swap, that happens with a boatload of people. Crap. Damn it. You completely threw me off whatever I was thinking.
Derailing.
Damn it.
Successful.
Good.
Congratulations.
I talked about sex, and it flustered Israel to the point he can't think about the topic he was discussing.
No, it was between you and Jack. I mean, damn it. Okay.
So everybody has a SIM card.
Yeah, everyone has a SIM card.
Not
Verizon users.
Well,
Verizon still doesn't.
Everybody
no, they do
has a
now.
cell phone.
They do now.
Wait, what?
They do now. Yeah.
LTE made them. They switched it LTE.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Wait. Who switched to LTE?
No, Verizon switched to using SIM cards when LTE came around.
Yeah, most
gotcha.
ICCIDs are kind of old hat now. Most of them still use SIM cards or eSIMs.
Oh.
eSIMs are starting to become the new thing.
I thought Sprint was the only one that didn't use it now.
No, Sprint does because they run off of quite a few other networks.
I thought they was.
Yeah,
I think they're killing WiMAX, so don't even worry about it.
Yeah,
Sprint is booty.
But yeah, Verizon. Like I thought they were still CDMA.
CDMA, yes. Sprint and Verizon are both CDMA. AT&T and T-Mobile GSM
through Verizon's CDMA.
Yep, it is.
Okay.
But LTE is kind of
travel overseas with.
Yeah, because most overseas uses GSM, but most of the 4G, the LTE stuff tends to operate transband. Like you can pretty much be on either network if you have it.
Whoa, transband.
Oh, so
are we
Darren,
banning trans?
My phone is 5G ready.
Yeah.
What does that mean for me?
Nothing.
Well, nothing. Probably nothing right now. 5G is new standard. So every 8 or 10 years, what's the organization called? It's like the IC3 or something like that comes together and decides the standards. And every G is a new generation.
Not IEEE? Is it some other one?
No, not IEEE. It's a
IC3, right?
I can't remember if it's IC3 or not, but it's the organization for mobile providers, and they decide new standards. And the new standard is 5G, which I believe is finalized, but I don't think anyone actually uses it yet or has a stable network yet. So 4G is still the current standard, and 4G has been out since I think 2010.
Yeah,
they've been adding more bands to it. It just keeps getting better and better.
Well, adding more bands is good because, again, as anyone knows about radios, every frequency operates differently with different environment conditions. So,
yeah, I mean, more bands is good, but they haven't increased the security in regard to the bands, right?
Well, the security is most a lot of the security is actually comes from
about
2G and 3G actually, where the so early implementations of the wireless protocol like 2G and 1G, basically the radio or the handset trusted the tower. Now it's a two-way trust where they actually have keys on both the handset and the tower, and they trust each other. They actually go through a key exchange when they first talk to each other to say, yes, I am who I say I am. And if one of them fails, if they're using the full authentication, they'll drop the connection.
Thanks for laying that all down, Darren.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to ask stupid questions to get a smart answer.
No,
so appreciate that.
Yeah, but that's the thing. But the intercepts, the man in the middles that we used to use, is still a
what they do.
No.
What they do is they have a special box that will basically hijack the connection to downgrade your connection to the old kind.
Yeah,
and then they intercept it. That's how they wiretap.
Or what typically if a government agency wants to wiretap, they'll just
cell phone tower directly.
They'll tap it at the tower. Basically, they'll just intercept it because the tower is the transmission point. It still has to go through a cable to a distribution center. It's like
I have a tower,
but they could just tap in there.
But
I have a tower about 500 feet away. I could tap into it, and I want to so bad. But the ramifications of that are pretty extreme.
Yeah,
very.
But that's what I'm saying with the new standards. Do they still work?
Well, again, a lot of the
tapping work. Does tapping work?
Yeah. Okay.
With
I will
the
explain
new
this.
standards.
I will explain this because the standards don't matter in these cases because they have an IDF at the actual tower or the substation where because again once it hits the tower, it basically goes through an IP network. So once it's there, they'll have a tap there somewhere. Like if you actually go to a Verizon or AT&T data center, they will have a room that the staff there cannot get into because the FBI will get into it. Or the or the NSA will go into there, and that's where they actually intercept all your communications. Once they're off
or if
vulnerability isn't in the band,
vulnerability
is in the way that band and packets move through their network.
Correct.
Unless you're a truly bad boy, then that's when they deploy the Stingray on you.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Can we still throw out a Stingray? I mean, because we all,
I think it
not
depends.
necessarily everybody, but we have access to Stingray technology. Can we still do that?
On so a lot of towers and substations were upgraded. The government obviously has a line into all the major cell phone carriers, all the major phone lines.
Yeah.
So while they may have upgraded it made it a little harder for a normal person to do it.
Yeah.
When I say a little harder, it would be fairly extreme for a normal person without the know-how to tap into calls. There's easier ways to do it, where you don't have to go to a cell phone tower. You hit the phone directly.
Yeah.
Or you pay someone at the phone company to do it for you, kind of thing. You have an insider there.
Sure.
Well, I mean, but honestly, the insider side, like that's getting more difficult. Like used to, it was a lot easier.
Yeah, it was so easy. Like it was like, here, I bought you a new phone. Why don't you go ahead and use this?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I used to have a black box that we used to do a little bit of freaking back in the day, and you could tap right into somebody's house line. It was fun.
Yeah.
Make long distance calls, all that good stuff.
As a matter of fact, I still have a butt set.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can get a lineman's butt set off Amazon for a few bucks.
As you can see, I'm an old man.
I know.
Through my picture. So if I go over here, do I look more young?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes, because you're black. And black never crack.
That's true. That's so true. God damn it. And brown folks, we do crack. It's Asian women too, and this isn't to, we're getting a little bit racial here, but legitimately Asian women at 40 look like they're 20, and they stay that way until they hit about 80, and they look like 125.
Holy crap. I almost want to share. Like, there was this video. Honestly, my mom shared it, and like some of her friends on Facebook. It was a 72-year-old woman, Asian woman, who was dancing with her grandson. And this woman, she did not look like she was 72. She was it was kind of like
Israel found
ballet stuff.
An Asian woman that didn't look her age.
Yeah, dude, we are talking 72. At that point, you should be like done. But at 72, she was like up on point, on top of her grandson's head, non-sexual. Thank you. Let's keep it there.
Woo.
And she was like moving, and she was up on point, like one toe up all the way. Like, it was freaking nuts. Like,
was she leaving snail trails on his head?
No.
Oh, shit.
Like white people.
I don't want to hear about grandpa snail trails. Shit.
I'm sorry. Like
was
white
that Asian?
people. Yes, it was. Like white people.
Sorry, bro.
Unfortunately, I'm one of those white people. But white people, I'm sorry, we just do not age as well as honestly anyone else. Like, everyone else ages 100% better than us.
You know why? It's the stress of running Empire.
Melanin's magic.
I say it has more to do with being dumb and going out in the sun constantly to try to tan.
Yeah. I mean,
true.
like
true that.
The vast majority,
not 40-year-old redheaded, but they just don't tan.
Yeah, the vast
I was
majority of white
just
people,
talking to my wife and her friend about that. She's like, they got to go up to the pool to work on their tan, and I'm like, you realize that the more that you tan, the more that time you spend in the sun, the older you're gonna look.
Well, and
it's just a fact.
And puts you gives you the higher potency of
risk
skin
of
cancer,
melanoma.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
That too.
Like, why do that? Like, suntan lotion, everything. Like, I don't care what color you are, white, black, yellow, whatever color you are.
Fucking
like,
purple.
you can get freaking skin cancer.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah, I
it's
know
like,
a black dude right now. One of my friends that has melanoma. He's got to get surgically removed. It's right on his nose.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, because like me being brought up, I was not around a lot of black individuals, and I just kind of thought, because I wasn't around a lot of black people, that black people didn't get skin cancer, didn't burn.
Did you also think they had magic powers?
I mean,
cracker.
and I am a cracker. Like, I will accept that. Yes. But,
I only learned what that meant a couple of years ago. I didn't know what the term cracker meant.
Oh my God.
Right?
Really?
You're so white.
I had no idea. Look, I grew up around I went to school. My neighborhood was full of blacks and Hispanics. And people just said the word. I didn't know what it meant until
You
later
never
in
said,
life.
"Hey, Mom, what's cracker mean?"
No, I just accepted it as like just a jab. Like, I thought it meant like white like a cracker.
Well,
I had no idea what it meant. So later in life, I learned what it meant, and I'm like, oh shit, that's a pretty strong word to call someone.
I mean, yes and no. I mean, I'd call my son a cracker. I call my wife a cracker. I mean, because
dude, you're abusive.
Yeah, I know. But in the same sense, I have been friends with a lot of black people, and there are
that makes it all okay.
No, but there are certain terms that I am not allowed to say to black people that I'm like, if you are allowed to say it within your culture, like, I should be allowed to say it within my culture.
This is probably an offline conversation.
Yeah, that's why I'm keeping my. That's
I
why I'm
think if
keeping
you
my
want to
mouth
talk
shut.
about like any kind of N-word pass, I think it's probably a little too hot for YouTube.
I don't need an N-word pass.
Well,
but
so
no,
right.
and I was not taking it to like N-word side, but crack.
What do we have to finish up?
Well, yeah, we are actually done.
Well, it's been a great day today on the podcast.
Hey, folks.
Thank you for coming, folks.
You guys all have a great day.
For having me able to sidetrack the conversation like 8 times. Get in some sexual
it was actually
references
14.
and call Israel a racist in a roundabout way. I love you all. Especially
Chuck loves you. I love everyone. I love all my children.
I don't know what that means, but
Satan
I love
in
you too.
like a puppet form. So I don't know.
It's the BSD devil.
Oh, okay.
So Adrian can say his goodbye.
What? All right, let's get back on track, folks, and then we can go off air. What is on the show notes?
We are all finished, so take it away, Adrian, so that we can take this conversation offline.
Enjoy the dumpster fire.
Yeah,
right.
Everybody, thank you very much for joining. See you next Wednesday. Have a great night.